Hey, everyone, we're live. We're live. We are live. There's gonna be an advert playing, which I didn't set up. Twitch gotta get them monies. You have Mickey Mouse? I don't have Mickey Mouse. I've got meth in there, but meth isn't. Meth couldn't make it again. There we go. Everyone should be here now. I'll just keep that open.
A new follower. Yummy.
Oh.
Is the audio coming through on the chat?
It should be.
Okay.
A new follower. Excellent.
No, we're good. On the chat? Yeah, okay, I hear myself now. Alright, hello everybody.
Yummy.
I've got a follower already. Wait, where is that? Follower order to top.
Hello and welcome to the Project Nexus 2 podcast.
A new follower.
Hello, I am the Swain.
And another follower.
First time people never hear me before. Welcome.
You got to do the Incubo accent the entire.
Si. Hola.
A new follower.
Another
Yummy.
follower.
I am
can't see
Michael
because-
Swain. I'm coming to you now live from Philadelphia.
It's an amazing.
And,
Is that what all people from Philadelphia sound like?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's the native accent.
Okay, Tony, what is your native accent?
My native accent.
Yes.
Italian. It's a weird mix of Italian, Canadian, and Penguin.
Penguin.
Yeah. You don't want to know my family tree, man. It gets messed up.
Oh. Okay, Sean, give us some sweet English brutality.
Oh yeah, I've got
A
your
new follower.
Scottish, so you don't
Yummy.
can't be.
I'm Scottish, lad. Noises. I guess.
Your accent is screaming.
Yeah, that's my accent is alcohol, bloody rage, and ginger people.
Ginger. I don't know what's.
Devastating.
Stop whispering, I can't understand your dialect.
Okay, I'll stop whispering, you lad.
That's bad.
There we go, lad.
Not native.
Yeah, people
All right, so-
half
turn my
alcohol.
system sounds. I was plugging my
I've
phone.
already learned a thing.
Are we getting like feedback here, or what am I hearing?
You're probably hearing the actual thing itself.
The stream.
Yeah, you gotta go into the Twitch and mute it, my boy.
Otherwise, you're going to hear everything we said 15 seconds ago again.
And it's going to
my
drive you
mistake.
mad, which is what happened to me. That is why I've gone mad.
Why.
That's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of lost a little of my mind there.
I do it because I have no friends. I just
And
talk to
finally,
myself.
yeah, Devin, your microphone is good to go, right?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Testing.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're coming through just fine.
It'd be really sad if the audio guy can't get his microphone to work. Just like,
This bodes so well.
It sports so excellently, it makes me want to go and do something German. I don't know why. German. Yeah. I like
All
the
right,
movies.
you numbskulls, you pea brains. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and introduce this? Walrus, you want to take this away for us as you're the official voice spokesman of the
Okay,
cause?
all right, you're putting a lot of pressure on me. God. Okay.
Go
right.
and begin, and don't screw up.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Project Nexus 2 live podcast. With me are a bunch of sexy people who speak a lot, and 2 game developers, and a music man who makes me want to cry sometimes because his
A
music
new
makes me want to
follower.
feel
Yummy.
so alive and so pretty. Okay, anyway, we're going to be answering questions all day, all time, every day, and Sean's going to be playing a game for our amusement.
Jesus
is that good?
Christ.
Is that
Pretty
good?
good. I like it.
That was the
Good.
best.
That'll do.
There we
Yeah, that
go.
was
What are
Right.
we doing?
There it is.
That was amazing.
Try. That makes
Okay,
me
so
feel-
all right, so now it's time for some questions and answers. And the one question I see about my name being changed to Sven, Swain actually comes from Sven, so that would be backwards. I'd be very backwards.
One step back.
Yes, exactly.
Back, 2 step
We're off to a
forward.
great start.
We're off to a magic start. Remember, guys, if you ask a question, you have a chance to get a code for Super Chibi Night, which is what we're playing now. And it's
Super
excellent.
Chibi. Okay.
The developer of this game is a swell fella, and he's, just
Yeah, do
making
we want to take a minute to talk about Super Chibi Night?
Yeah, okay. So, Super Chibi Night is a game that you can see on your Twitch screen right there. Sean is going to be playing the game for us since he's hosting. And this is it's basically a Zelda 2-esque RPG, overworld and side-scrolling game. And our buddy Nick made it. Nick is an awesome dude. He's a good Newgrounds friend of ours and has been for some time. He used to go by Bomb Tunes, but his new pro name he's going by now is Pesto Force. Nick Pasto. Pesto, you get it. Nick has done a lot of really cool stuff before. He was responsible for Bobo's Big Adventure, that huge Flash game that he took many years to try to develop, basically single-handedly. Though Johnny Utah from Newgrounds did the cabinet art for he built an actual arcade cabinet for the game when it was done.
That thing was
Showed it
awesome.
at Comic-Con. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. I was not disappointed to. I believe that his game beat Project Nexus 1 for the Game Award, didn't it?
Yep, and I gave Rod shit for it.
Yeah. All right. You know what? Yep. Shut it down. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm sore.
Who cares about game development? Nick beat us at our own game.
Anyway, so if you think we're great, and we're not, but if you do, Nick's even better. So check out his game on Steam.
Yeah, like certifiably better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sort of like he's clinically better. Like there's documentation to prove that he is better than we are at this.
Yeah.
Also, didn't
Yes,
he,
but he's
didn't
not as
get
buff.
his kid to do the voiceover, like the adorable sounds in the game?
Who did it?
Wasn't it his kid that did the sounds for the game? Maybe the first.
Oh,
one.
you know what? I believe so. I believe
Yeah,
that's the case,
all
but I
of
cannot
the voice
verify.
acting and character design was by his daughter.
That's adorable.
That's hilarious.
All right, so let's answer some questions, guys. First question that I can see. Is there going to be any customizable grenades, like in Assassin's Creed's Brotherhood? Like grenades you can customize, like give them special effects like stickiness and etc.
Let me see. Since Matt, you're on weapon duty, you want to take that one away?
That actually has not occurred to me at all. Usually, I've just been thinking grenades explode, and that's pretty much the long and short of what I've been thinking about for grenades.
We have things like flashbangs and that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah, it's not,
I do want sticky demolition stuff, but
oh
as far as
yeah. It's
grenades,
less
I
about
haven't thought
it's less about the grenades being customizable and there just being like a spread of them rather. At least that's what I've kind of thought of it at this point.
It could be. I don't know. It could be cool to preset the fuse length. The problem though for a game like this is that Assassin's Creed is one of those games where you could sort of you can stop the action to open up a radial menu and select what weapon you want to use now out of 30 different weapons. Every game there's 10 more. And the problem with that is that this game it tends to be a little bit faster. So finding a balance between customizable grenades and stuff, things that stack, is a little difficult to do. Because let's say one sticky, you have a grenade, one sticky, one is high explosive, one is extra shrapnel, etc. You get the idea. How are you going to quickly select those in a game that doesn't really have a lot of slowdown moments? Since that's what we're trying to capture. If you
Right, 'cause
customize
it's
a
very
weapon,
it's
then
very
that's,
important that the game pace is moving quickly. I don't want the player jumping into their inventory every couple seconds.
Could do a radial menu. You just
All
hit a
right,
button.
so next question.
Oh, wait,
so
hold on. I think,
yeah.
Devin, you were talking, weren't you? It was just, you're a little bit low with your microphone.
Oh, sorry. Is that better?
no,
That
yes,
is much
better.
Okay, so I was
just
saying,
yeah, that's it. You're done.
no, idea time. We could do a radial menu, for inventory.
Well, that's the thing is that, like we were just saying with Assassin's Creed, they did a radial menu, and that's fine, as long as there's a quick way to access them, or a potions list like they have in Diablo, where a quick keystroke will access something. And I mean, I'm not against it. We're trying to keep the HUD as small as possible or as minimal as possible. As long as we're not slowing down the game, like it suddenly goes into slow motion mode while you select your weapon. As long as we don't have to do that, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not
I
doing
mean, Red Dead Redemption did it okay, but the problem is it's more about accessing all these little tiny weapons that all have little tiny variants. If you have a gun that you've customized and built yourself, that's fine because that is a gun. It's a piece of inventory. It's one thing that you have. It's going to be in either one of your two hands or your back or on your side. And even though you can store it in your inventory, it's nevertheless it's like still like one unit of something, not like 20 grenades each with varying little numerical differences. So it's not that we're against the idea. It's just it's like from a gameplay perspective, it might muddle it a bit. So it's going to take some further consideration, maybe some scientific minds to crack that.
Right.
All right. Mind if I ask next question, guys?
All
All right.
Shoot.
So, do we have a maximum number of weapon combinations of weapons for weapons? Like, how many different things can be put on a weapon?
Let me see. I guess we can go through the list of some of the accessories that we were thinking about, Matt, if you want.
Yeah,
And
here,
this
let
is
me
aside-
fire up my little blend file here.
Yeah, crack that open. And this is also besides just taking like when we do the really goofy weapons where it's like you take the slide from a Desert Eagle and throw it onto an AK-47, like stuff that doesn't make sense, but we're still like letting people hack job build weapons in certain game modes. Besides that stuff, because at that point it's just however many weapons we have and the parts that are in them multiplied by each other, and you get just this ridiculous number.
Right, because there's like
accessories you can put on though. That's
like
different.
that'll just like we just have to figure that out as we go along. I already have like multiple different barrel extensions for like submachine guns, pistols, and rifles alike, and I want them to be like fully interchangeable. Say you want like an extension that was intended for a particular SMG, I want you to be able to put that on anything, like for better or for worse, So you can make broken, dumb, useless guns, but you could also make really, really good ones too.
Yeah. Yes. It just occurred to me I probably should have put a link to this on the Kickstarter. Whoops. Oh well, you're all here anyway, so.
Oh, well. Okay, so in Arena, is the squad mates sort of idea going to return? As in, like, on Project Nexus 1, there was like, you could bring in like Sanford or Jesus or something like that. Is that idea going to be continued?
I think so. I don't see why we'd stop. I mean, this game is supposed to be a tactical squad-based combat game, so I'd say that's pretty important.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It'll be better, of course. Like you'll actually have more tactical control over your guys. You don't just simply add them to your team and then just hope they don't screw up in the process of trying to like fight through the arena. We're playing with different ways of allowing your leadership skills to translate to different commands and different things you can do. Like you guard him, you go over here. At the most basic, it'll be like stay here and go there, or like defend this area, that kind of thing. And they'll do it. They'll do it to the best of their ability. So a real team that is really effective is going to be an NPC that is skilled enough to understand your commands and perform them well, at the same time as you're actually giving commands that are worth something. Like if you issue a flanking order, then they may, between everybody who got that order, they may decide amongst themselves how they're going to like spread around to get to that point. While you take the middle or something like that. Basically, we're gonna play with the tactics a little bit more. All the pathfinding and stuff is in the game, so that will be in testing within the next month or so.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. They're gonna be smarter. They're gonna be better.
Good, because like the last thing anybody needs in a game where there's going to be like companions with you is shitty AI, because that kills every single game with that. Like, if you do an AI well, then oh god, the game is so much better. But take time, please, and don't make the AI Dead Rising bad.
Oh god.
Yeah.
As of, outside of like the stupid bugs, like that one where every now and then your guy just starts dodging and he never stops. Besides that one, which was a bug, not really AI, but a mistake on my part. Really, these characters, no matter how stupid they are in Project Nexus 1, there are no real like obstacles unless someone's behind cover. If you shoot your gun in a direction towards somebody, no matter where you're standing in a room, that bullet is going to count towards their attack bar or towards their dodging or whatever. So really, they could be completely stupid and they still have a chance of firing. So they were never useless just because they were morons. So in this case, now that there are true obstacles in a real 3D world, that's more of a concern. So right now, they seem to be doing fine. Bad guys are trying to flank you while you're playing as like the sole good guy combatant, and all I got to do is just flip it around and translate that to the NPCs on your team, to your allies.
All right. Here's a question. So, what is the minimum spec requirements for Nexus 2 as of now? Is it going to be like something that you can play on like Windows 7 that's just very basic, or is it going to be something you need to get some good stuff for?
Well, for OS, I mean, whatever. Any Windows or Mac is fine.
Really?
Yeah, I think I have egg yolk in my beard. Why doesn't anybody tell me about this?
Because
I just kind of like scratch my. Imagine me thinking, you know, like in deep thought, like
Egg
you
fell
know,
out.
fingers rubbing my chin, like, that's a very good question. What is this, egg?
Yeah. speaking of eggs, what did we all have for breakfast, guys? That's the main question.
English
Pounded
muffin,
chicken.
cream cheese with pepper jam and eggs.
Donuts.
I actually had waffles,
Nice.
egg, and sausage.
3 pancakes and chocolate. Delicious.
The
Nice.
same thing I'm eating right now.
Mm.
I
What's
did
weird
the,
is that I didn't
cop-
eat any eggs. I don't know how they got there.
It's great chicken baked straight from the freezer.
On the next episode of Swain's Magic Beard.
Swain finds a handgun in his beard and doesn't
It's
really
a-
realize why it's there.
It's a gateway to hammer space. You can get anything in there.
All right, so
okay, so operating system and stuff. Yeah, that won't be such a big deal. More than anything, but what I try to say is I compare the specs to being. If you can play a game like Skyrim on like medium mode on your PC, you're probably fine for this. The
Good.
shaders aren't going to be overcomplicated. DirectX 11, you know, the basics, but that's it.
right. Okay, so how long do you think Project Nexus 2 is going to be, like, in general? For the start,
Like
Well,
the story mode?
yeah, the story mode, because arena mode's infinite, and so is zombie survival if you play your cards right.
Yeah, right. Which is like it's great because we can just boost up, just completely jack up the numbers for how many game hours? Well, let's see. It's like 40 minutes for story and 7 million hours to take breaks. For
Well, looking
Nah,
at the
we're better than that.
Well, looking at the city map for Nexus 2, like, I want to aim for, like, a nice and lengthy campaign, like, as long as I can, but without it getting too damn, you know, tedious or boring.
yeah, so
It's like
the
it's spread
reasonable
across,
number
like,
we're shooting
3,
for
4, 5,
is
6.
what, like, what do you would say, like 3 hours, 4 hours now, and if we can like beef it up, that'd be even better.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, you've seen the map, like, it's huge. We could just fluff this out and just just a matter of how much content we have time to put in.
Yeah. Because I'm like, look at Hotline Miami. Hotline Miami, if you could play through every stage perfectly and not die and die and die and die, then that game would be like an hour long, really.
Yeah.
Dark Souls, if that was the case, would only be like 70 hours long.
Only.
Instead, it's about 70, like, it's too many hours, basically.
72 billion hours.
Yeah.
Billions and billions.
Billions
Dark Souls,
and
the
billions
unfinishable
of
game.
years.
You know, maybe that's what we should do. We should add a Dark Souls difficulty. Prepare to die.
Yeah, I'm going to program it to
Slots.
Dark Souls difficulty and we'll just tone it down as we go.
Yeah.
Project
All right.
Nexus 2, the impossible game.
Nice. So, how in zombie survival mode do you think you'll be able to barricade windows and doors and hold up in
Yeah.
buildings?
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Yes, you can. And
nice.
I'm also we're playing around with the idea of being able to build barricades on the fly, like sandbags and that kind of thing. Like actually laying down obstacles as well.
Right, so you could, like, change the flow of an area, so...
Yeah.
You know, so you could funnel the zombies into a certain area to make it easier for you to deal with them, or, you know, anything to that effect to strategically get an advantage.
Project Nexus 2, Tower Defense.
Before I forget, do we have anybody actually taking track of who's asking these questions? Because
I am.
good.
No.
Thank Christ.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. You beautiful bastard. Okay, right.
Oh, that being the case, then, Walrus, why don't you read out loud also the name of whoever asked the question, just so Tony knows
yeah.
who to look.
I'll do that then. I'll do that. Okay.
Absolutely.
Hear their
So
names. in
let's see what
sexy
else.
voice.
What's a good question? Ooh, this is a nice question. So how will loading like these places work? Will it be like tiny little loading screens between every room, or will it just be a humongous zone with a big loading screen?
And who asked that question?
That was Snowkeeper.
Snowskeeper.
Snowskeeper.
Snowskeeper, all right.
And
Okay, I guess this is a Swain coding one. So it's funny, I was actually thinking about that exact question like 2 or 3 days ago. You can do asynchronous loading in Unity. It's very easy to do. They set it up for you. And I like the looks of it so far in testing. It seems to work. And that's basically like, that's a function of games like take any of the Elder Scrolls games where it's a seamless transition across the world. That entire world doesn't exist as you're walking across it. It loads it in sections and chunks. So as you go through these zones, it asynchronously is loading those chunks as you're playing the game. So that's something I want to try to do is at least like you're in a level. In a level, it might be, it's basically one floor with a bunch of rooms that you walk between. And those rooms don't have any load time whatsoever. As you're advancing towards the last room, I'm thinking of asynchronously loading the next room. So that once you go through that door, it just kind of pops you into the next one too. Load times will probably only ever be big between hitting like story mode, like new campaign or continue campaign. Like
as you like traverse the sectors.
Yeah. Going from major game areas also there may be load areas, like the different sectors of the city. But for the most part, I don't think that the load times are going to be very bad in this game, and it's certainly it's going to be at times that don't break up the pacing, like when you're just walking, like Matt said, between one sector of the city to the next, where it's just a big wall you're supposed to get through, maybe a cutscene or something. That's probably where that would take place. But we're going to try to disguise as many load times as we can. So it's not going to be a big deal. It'll be nice and small, and very rare.
Oh, so this is something about the designer pack question. This is from I am a hobo. As somebody who bought the designer pack, when will we be able to send our designs for our stuff?
I think right after the alpha, right, Matt? Like after we
that's what we were thinking.
In the next,
because that's when we were going to start tackling, all the developer stuff as well as the rewards themselves.
Yeah. We realize we have a lot of buttons and stuff that we need to be sending out to people for the Kickstarter. So that's something we're also jumping on. It just we figured the alpha was the biggest priority, so we're trying to get that squared as quick as possible so everybody can start playing. And then you get your stickers and buttons. I was pretty sure that was the priority everybody had, so that was what we were trying to adhere to.
Right.
But as far as the designer pack, once we have the alpha out, or at least a version of the alpha, then we'll put a big post up on Kickstarter, make sure everybody knows we're now accepting submissions. And I think there were 30 people participated in that. So
yes, we got a lot of ideas to cram in there.
Yeah, exactly. So what we'll do is we'll try to set up with everybody. We'll make sure that we have everyone's email contacts for that, and we'll try to get a dialogue going so that we can figure out at least one day a week for the next we'll probably take a couple meetings every day just to get it out of the way in a week, and just like talk with somebody for like half hour, an hour, and just figure out what their idea is, flesh it out, and then tell them what's possible so that they feel that not only are they not cheated, but they can see we really want to make it happen.
Right.
Okay, so here's a question from this is a question that was answered second, so I'm going to have to answer this. So from Yo-Yo-Win, what are some of the ways we'll be able to use the environment to advantage? Like, will we be able to destroy or change or manipulate the environment in any sort of way?
There's I don't know. There's two different ways we're looking at potentially doing that. I think one is we don't know if it's going to happen, but we've talked about it. Crinkles and I were trying to figure out, is it possible if you're outside of a building to plant an explosive charge, blow up a hole in the wall, and use that hole to access the room from just related section of the room? Yeah, I mean, there are ways to do things like this, but I think that it may overcomplicate it and actually also kind of change the structure of the way rooms work. So we're not sure if we're going to do it. It may just overcomplicate things and take weeks to do this one feature that we don't even need. But I don't know, things like causing destruction in the terrain. If I can do that, I think that'd be great. At the very least, destroying cover that people are hiding behind.
That's a must.
Stuff. Yeah, like that kind of thing. I'm pretty sure we can do.
Because I definitely want your heavier weaponry to just be able to chew through cover, so you don't have to be tactical if you don't want to. If you got like a big old 50 caliber machine gun, it's like hell with your cover,
Yeah, if we could do more than just like bullet holes, that'd be great. So we'll probably have like preset objects in the room and like preset sections of walls that just kind of get destroyed over the course of firing on them, and just to kind of like help enhance that effect. Because I'd love to see like the Matrix lobby scene is obviously one of those like tantamount scenes that we'd love to recreate something like that. So
with the pillars flying apart and what have you.
Yeah. So we'll do the best we can, even if it's just an object that has multiple different states of destruction as you like smack it down.
A new follower.
But we'll come up with something. But yeah, it's not going to be just a pristine room and then you fire a bunch of bullets and now there's just blood and bullet holes, but everything looks sparkling and brand new still. We don't want that.
All right. So, do either of you guys, and this is from Dragon Blitz 42, either of you guys have any ideas for release dates? So, when the actual game is going to be out of its scary alpha?
Well, beta in July, I hope, but we'll see.
So, no ideas for the full product, as it's still
full product
follower.
It's honestly at that point, the beta will probably be selling the. I think we might probably be selling the beta. I like that. We might be selling the beta as early access on Steam by then. At which point that just gets you access to the game anyway. So at least at that point, people will be able to acquire it who were too late for the Kickstarter and don't want to fork over too much cash for the pre-orders. Though we encourage you to do so.
Nice.
But yeah, July or shortly afterwards. Definitely this year. There's no way it's going to go beyond this year.
Oh, absolutely this year. Especially
Thank
because
God.
like, yeah, the more we're working in the environment of like Blender and Unity, the faster we're getting at it too, and like overcoming all the growing pains of like figuring out how like armatures
A new
and what have you
follower.
work out.
Yummy.
So
Yeah, the stories we could tell you about that. Jesus.
Oh, God.
just
All right.
Yeah.
So, for zombie survival mode, do you have any ideas how many different, if there's going to be any different types of bases, and is there going to be any way to like
A
upgrade
new
said
follower.
bases?
Yummy.
I think this is mostly just speculation on what we think is going to work, but based on the way that I've been coding the game so far, I think what'll happen is that a lot of the game will be like screen by screen. Like, think of Project Nexus 1 where you have a room that you're in. Now imagine that room's a little bit bigger and it's outdoors, and either it's like the top of a hill or like an alleyway inside of a piece of the city.
Right.
And the way I'm thinking is that screen kind of becomes, that area becomes your base while you're there, and you can decide how you want to structure things, if you want to leave barricades up, if you want to, reinforce windows and that kind of thing.
yeah, it
There's all
won't be
sorts
just
of
like
stuff
a
that you'll need to set up.
yeah. We're not thinking like for just like a flat upgrade, like you spend money and suddenly all your walls are stronger. Like you just have to go and get
A new
resources,
follower.
bring them back,
Yummy.
and then arrange your
right.
things like that, putting up
Yeah,
turrets
exactly.
or walls or whatnot.
Yeah. So there's another question. Will we be able to? This
A
is
new
from.
follower.
Oh, that
Yummy.
question from was Avocadrometbot. Right, I think I spelled that right. So I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Whoops. Okay.
Avocado Rambot?
Yes, that's.
Perfect.
Shut up.
Avocado Ramabot.
Rambot.
Wow, I fucked that up.
Avocado
Right. Okay.
Rambot?
That's okay. You tried.
Avocado grandma. Okay, so this is another question from Snowskeeper. Will it be possible to weaponize the zombies later times, or is that going to be like a scary, distant thing that's going to be, not even thought about for a while?
Are we talking like Resident Evil Nemesis, like strap a bazooka to his head or something?
Or like
I would think like use zombies to attack bandits, like chain them up and then just throw them at them.
Oh yeah,
like-
trains, of course, absolutely.
Ooh, fun.
like the different factions will already have like their issues with each other, so like it will definitely behoove the player to use their dislike of each other to their benefit. Say like the Nexus and the Merc squads, like you run across them fighting, you could just go ahead and fan the flames a little bit before leaving,
Mhm.
and come
Yeah.
back a little bit later and they're all dead.
Yeah, lovely. Oh, here's a fun question.
Sean just died. Ha ha ha.
Watch out, Spring.
Yeah. I forget to mention. I'm pretty sure Sean mentioned me called the character Walrus. I think.
Don't know what about.
Oh, well, there was some sort of walrus. I think. I saw
What?
it in a name slip.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Right. There's a question from Spirits9871. How are you
Well,
guys
okay.
managing to balance daily life with game development?
Poorly.
Wait, game development. We're supposed to be making a game?
Oops. Guess we better get on that.
Better get started. It's not too hard.
That's what the money was for.
Let me see. For me, it's awesome because I don't have any kind of work commute to work. Neither does Matt. We work out of each of our own houses.
I go downstairs.
Yeah, he goes downstairs. I go downstairs as well. And that's not some weird metaphor for something. But he also lives like 4 or 5 blocks from me, like nothing. So we get together pretty often. The whole getting him to Philly thing has been a godsend. I mean, as was the Kickstarter, and the fact that we managed to pull that off with everybody's help.
Yeah, it
So that was
amazing that we were
necessary.
able to do as much as we could with Nexus 1
Yeah.
at our distance.
Yeah,
So,
like we're having trouble with Blender on like this dumb issue, and so like a couple days ago, Matt and I just get together, we sit down and we just like start getting cracking on solutions, and like we never would have had that kind of like train of consciousness think tank environment if the two of us were not in the same room. It's just not possible.
It's really hard when you have to work remotely like that, especially
Yeah.
with those like they're so intertwined. Like I couldn't imagine doing anything visual with coding remotely.
All right.
Audio's another story.
Fun.
Yeah, he's got the fun job. I've got a freaking program.
Yeah.
I do because I have to.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun over here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So,
Making more guns.
where's the question? Yeah, there's a question from Adriano King 1. So, are different weapons going to make you slower or faster? Like, if you have like an Uzi and a knife, will that be faster than a big sword and a rifle?
That's our goal, yeah. And you can use
Yeah.
perks to overcome that too.
Mm.
But
Right,
generally
basically,
speaking,
strength
if
of
you're
your
carrying-
skills will affect that. Yeah.
But generally speaking, like if you're dual wielding M249s, you're not going to be a very fast guy.
Yeah, prepare for the hurt. And aiming behind you, like while you're aiming forward, somebody's suddenly behind you and you swing around to shoot the guy behind you. Expect your character to just slowly rotate his aim towards that direction.
Right, because that will
It's
lend
not
to
gonna
advantages.
happen
That'll lend to advantages for like smaller, more svelte firearms.
Yeah.
All right. So, how are you going to make the gun sounds in this game?
Like going like this, pew 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 pew.
just make mouth noises like.
Yeah, things with our
Every
mouths.
time you pull
that's-
the trigger, you're just gonna hear Devin go, bang.
Bang, bang, bang.
This
Wait, that was a
Deadpool
gun in
style.
Borderlands too, wasn't it?
There was.
Bang,
I
bang.
remember there was a
Bang, bang,
gun.
You know what?
There was a gun from
Yeah.
Borderlands which was literally just an offensive Australian woman just going "fuck your mum" and etc. Oh god.
That's yeah.
Nice.
That cheeky cunt.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, how are you gonna get those gun sounds?
Okay, so real
Devin's the audio
talk.
guy.
So right now I'm using a bunch of different sound libraries, layering a bunch of stuff together. Either I'm lucky enough to have the right gun sound, or I have to then, kind of create the right gun sound. So there's kind of this balance between realism and stylized stuff. Like, there's no shotgun that sounds like that, and it's like, well, yeah, but it also sounds really fun to shoot. So
Yeah, it has to read well, as it were.
Yeah, so long as
Yeah.
the like if it translates to like if it's gas powered, you don't hear the gas, or if it's and you're supposed to hear the gas more specifically. Some guns are
Pneumatic,
very
yeah.
electronic, but like a revolver's not going to sound like a handgun. But
no,
most of the time,
no, there's because you got
anyway.
wheel stuff. But yeah, you guys like what I've done so far for the alpha.
Yeah.
So I feel
Yeah,
like
I
yeah,
dig it.
except for
I only had like a
it's
few
like it
notes.
needs
that I
more
wanted to
balls
send.
at one point. Like
Yeah,
for some
like
of stuff, you
the
need to
Smith and
heavier.
Wessons. The Smith and Wessons.
I
Those need
figured
to be meaner.
I gotta
That-
admit, all of us are like me, Sean, and Tony are like just dizzy with anticipation for this shit because it's gonna be fun.
We'll show you guys
Yeah,
the sound
cool.
library.
Yeah.
You guys are in the know. We trust y'all. We'll show you.
Yeah, we're in the know, and you're not, chat. You hear that, chat? You're terrible. Oh,
You hear that, chat? We're better than you.
nobody likes you, chat. Get a job. Preferably away from us.
Suddenly, all the viewers start dropping off.
Oh, shit, we actually have
They
lost a
Start
leave.
viewer.
getting notifications. You've lost a follower.
I think we actually have lost a viewer. Oh,
no.
dear.
Look what you've gone and done.
I'm sorry, guys.
I'm
It
sorry,
was just a
guys.
joke.
they're so sensitive.
Alright, there was a re-asked question that I forgot to ask that I probably should have asked. So, KieraPlayX asks, so since the sheriff's being added, it's like re-added to Madness, is he going to be in a sort of boss stage, or will he just be only a survival and zombie mode?
I had him in my head as he was going to be a faction leader. One of the
Yeah.
first bosses that you'd encounter. You know, that kind of familiarity would be kind of really cool for, that first boss fight. And of course, quad-barreled shotguns are badass. So,
Yeah, if nobody noticed his little picture that we used in the Kickstarter, that
A new
little
follower.
promo picture.
Yummy.
He's actually got the quad barrel shotgun, and surprisingly, a lot of people haven't actually noticed that. I mean,
Right.
it's four
It's a
barrels,
subtle.
kid.
It's a subtle addition.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll. Yeah, he'll.
but
be in
it'll
the
kind
game.
of helpful, like he'll be in the game. It'll kind of be like a really cool way to show just how factions have their leaders and how boss fights will be structured in the future. Because we want to really do that layered boss fight thing, where they have different states and maybe even travel to somewhere else while you're trying to kick his ass.
Yeah.
Just gonna finish my whiskey. Right.
What time is
Okay.
it out there for you?
Like 6:30.
Whiskey
I
or
hate
something.
you.
I 5 hours ahead.
I wish I
Yeah,
could be drinking at 1 o'clock, but no, I can't.
Poor thing.
It's,
Okay, right.
It's still
So-
10 o'clock in the morning for me.
Yeah. So here is a question from WhoisBird696.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay. Will there be different maps or rooms to choose from in arena mode?
Ooh.
And will you
Yes.
be able?
Oh, you'll
Yeah.
definitely be able to go room to room. We're excited about that.
Yeah, we're not sure about how much control you'll have while playing, in which room you're going to be fighting. Though there's always going to be a mode where you can just kind of quick play. Like you can just start a mission, pick the guys that you're fighting, and just fight. And in that you'll be able to pick stuff, but which is basically just a modified arena mode. But for arena itself, I think it's still going to be just based on where the game knows that you need to be currently. But there will be multiple rooms all stacked together, not just one room that you always fight in forever until you are sick of the game.
Right. Where's a good question? Alright, so this is one from Golden Zeembles. How deadly can hand-to-hand be? Like,
Very.
in Project Nexus 1, they weren't very, like, useful, per se.
Admittedly, that is true.
But how do you think you're gonna, like, change the fists up? Are you gonna make it a little bit scary?
We're trying to maybe approach it a little bit more the rock paper scissors angle. The idea that one beats another, and it's not always unanimous. I guess you could say it doesn't always, that basically works. It doesn't always fit the scenario. Like just because pistols are great against rifles at close range, doesn't necessarily mean anything if somebody comes at you with a hand-to-hand and a rifle. Where does that come into play? Since you can sort of like dual wield stuff. So there's still balancing to look at, but for the most part, unarmed is going to be the realm of doing throws and guard breaks. So if you're fighting somebody that's got fantastic tack bar, the way I've been trying to approach it right now is to look at unarmed as that skill that gets through their guard. Like, have you ever noticed in a movie like any James Bond or action or spy film where two guys are just punching the crap out of each other? And that's when the bad guy, who is malicious and doesn't understand or obey the code of honor in combat, suddenly draws a knife out of his boot. And now, for some reason, when he starts attacking the good guy, he can't hit with that knife. Because if he hits, the guy's dead. But we need to continue the movie. So when it's hand-to-hand, everybody's just punching the crap out of each other. But you pull that knife out, and suddenly he can't get hit. So I look at that as suddenly, when you're in hand-to-hand, tack bar doesn't really apply. So it's more like active blocking and that kind of thing. Right. So being able to disarm people and block weapons, I mean, that's a skill for like melee with having an actual weapon in your hand, like a sword or something. But when you go up to somebody and just hand-to-hand combat with only your fists, the idea there is that they're going to have a lot more difficult chance of getting away from you if you manage to close with them. So it's one of those things that hopefully we can differentiate from melee. It's not just like a crappier version of swinging a sword, but that you're able to do throws and grabs, that you're able to use people as like body shields or like use them against other people. Like if you're
disarms as well, yeah.
Yeah. And if you're stronger than somebody, maybe you pick them up and use them as a weapon or throw them against somebody else or, that kind of thing. So we want to make unarmed a little bit more versatile, and firearms pretty straightforward. Firearms, it's easy. You pull the trigger and while aiming at something you want to kill, and hopefully you kill it. Unarmed is more of like not really a mini game, but it's a little bit more, I guess, not really intense, but it requires a bit more attention to do right. But if it does, the payoff is supposed to be better. I think that covers it, right, Matt? Or did you have more to add?
No, there's really nothing more to add except for like it is our goal to make every fighting style melee, unarmed, or guns like equally viable in the long run. Yeah. If you wanted to just make like a Bruce Lee character and run around, if you really spec your character that hard into hand to hand, you can get places just by wailing on people with your fists.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a question from Nikki Oliver 123.
Yes.
Yes. Are there going to be customizable swords or melee weapons in general?
I think so. We're still playing with how to do it, but
like adding like a shotgun to a sword or something like that.
we were toying around with the idea of like jury rigging like car battery stuff to a sword so you could like add electrical damage to your swinging, stuff like that.
Yes, please.
I bet you there's a way to do like I bet you anything there is a way where we can take any kind of wooden weapon in like Z mode. Like a baseball bat, for example, use the mesh of the bat, since these things don't really deform, use the mesh as a hit test, and just locate points at the end to just stick nails into it or something. Or like now I have a canoe paddle with nails in it, or a 2x4 with nails in it.
You've been playing lots of projects on board.
Yeah, and no promises on that, but we are messing with doing texturing differently, so that at the very least you'll be able to customize weapons based on color and material. Like if you want a wooden sword, you have a wooden sword. You want a red handle, then you have a red handle. That kind of thing. Right. That we are playing with, yes.
All right, cheese. So, or go ahead.
Yeah, cheese sword, absolutely.
Cheese, delicious. So this is a question from Blake Outs. In the zombie survival mode, can your character find narcotics and slowly get addicted to them? Meaning you have to constantly keep.
Oh lordy, that's fun. I haven't really thought about like addiction, but I definitely want to put buffers like that.
Yeah, based on those
Like,
the
way to
Zed
cap up
Survivor
the guy.
personalities we were playing with, you know, some characters need things like cigarettes or booze. I don't know if we'll get into the really hard stuff, just because we don't want to like overcomplicate the game. And
Yeah,
suddenly,
but
with the introduction of that stuff, we're like we have a different rating.
I mean, I'd certainly think that stuff like painkillers and morphine, you have to like if you like, it's like a scary thing to use, like because I'd expect every time you use it, you'd slowly but surely get your character a little bit more dependent on it, and slowly but surely your character becomes less and less able to fight without the stuff until they just kind of die. And it kind of makes even healing a bad thing to do in the zombie survival game.
Those
feels a lot like-
I always
it's
like
like
elements like
impossible to
that
do.
happening in games where you're trying to survive as long as possible.
Yeah.
I feel that's like very Fallout-esque. Like Fallout 3. You took too much Psycho. Aw.
Yeah.
A little bit psycho is too much psycho.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Not supposed to go in your mouth.
Cue the heroin scene from with Uma Thurman from Pulp Fiction. Blood's going everywhere.
Get the adrenaline. Okay, so
pierce the sternum.
This is a re-asked question from Yo-Yo Win. Will there be vehicles, and will we be able to customize them if there are? Because, you know,
I'm not counting on vehicles, at least not anytime soon. Considering like the nature of the maps and everything, like it's all tight alleyways and indoor environments. Swain and I just really haven't talked about vehicles that much. Hasn't been a focus.
Maybe in Zed Survival we may have vehicles as like we have the game made so that if there suddenly is like an armored personnel carrier or a tank, let's say, moving along as just part of the environment, the enemies would be able, or you would be able to take cover behind it and sort of like walk along with it, so that you're kind of like following the cover point. You can shoot over the top and use it for cover. We have it made this way, but we don't know that that's going to be in it for sure, at least not yet. Eventually, for like a desert mode, it would be neat to have dune buggies and motorcycles and that kind of stuff. But
Oh yes.
but for the most part, it's probably not going to be in this release. If vehicles are in, then we'll probably just provide a couple models that we use for quick travel to get around in Zed Survival or something.
Or like you said, like as some sort of boss battle where there's just like this big tank that driving back and forth like Mutoid Man from Smash TV or something. Less a vehicle and more just like a moving building.
Right. More like a robot, really. A building robot with treads. But at
And
that
machine
point, the
guns.
player's not controlling it. That's more just like something that exists in the game. So yeah, there may be some vehicles show up at some point in the game, but it's unlikely you're going to drive them and this like actually get to physically control them. Though that is definitely something for the DLC down the line.
yeah.
Something we do. It's more just time constraints, not because we don't want it. We're just trying to get the game up first.
Yeah. All right. So Krieg the Meat Man says or asks, is there going to be like currency and merchants for zombie survival? Because I already know there's going to be one merchant who was done in the Kickstarter called Mr. M.
Mr. M.
Who's a fun guy. But are there going to be any more merchants aside from him? And is there going to be like a currency? Or is it just going to be like trading weapons for other weapons and etc.?
Well, I know that in the story mode, we're going to be doing more of a trading thing rather than like straight currency, either through favors or jobs or, just trading gear for gear.
Yeah, it's like an IOU1 system between the different factions and our zombie merchant character.
That and all the crap we wrote up for Mr. M and like, the giant story canon that's going to happen with his character.
Yeah.
So that'll be a lot of fun.
And arena mode's probably just going to be cash, just so that we can, because the way we've been playing with it, and nothing is final, but the idea is that those the employer characters, those mysterious background figures, they're the employers. They have plenty of bank. So in arena mode, you're working for them. And again, this is just like in progress. We're not really like nothing is final here with this, but. It is basically like a company or an organization or something like that you work for, deliberately mysterious to start with until we get more into a story that is revealed as you play arena mode too, like a little backstory thing. But they'll be giving you cash, and you'll be using that to buy your, upgrade your hideout or your base or whatever like way that we have of reflecting that in our limited time that we have until we actually release the game in July. So. For eventually in AAHW mode, you're still playing your same arena guy. In that you are the boss of your own base, and that's all going to be cash. There's just going to be a big old dollar sign right at the front. But story mode is going to be different. Hank doesn't barter in cash, at least not in this, because he's off in the middle of nowhere. And these guys don't need currency; they need favors and people watching their backs. So.
Yeah, the city's falling apart. What are they going to do with money?
Yeah. So we're going to do a favor system that doesn't really feel like cash. It's not just another name for the amount of currency you have, like bottle caps or something. It's it is really a different system entirely.
Yeah. All right.
Think
so
more. Think it's kind of like those gold coins in John Wick, but not really at all, because that's still just currency. It's really just
It's more like the
finished
competence,
favors.
the competence that you accomplish people's, assigned missions. Like if you do it well, it'll open up their store a little more to you. But like if you completely screw the pooch on it, then yeah, like they're not going to give you nothing.
Right.
Like maybe here's a box of bullets, now get out of my face.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like you don't get to like pick like, okay, I think I can afford this gun with this spec and this like edition, and it's more just kind of like, hey, this is what I have. You help me out. Do you want a weapon? Do you want this? Like, or just come back to me later if you need me to do something. And everything just has sort of like a value about what he's willing to do and what he's not, based on how much you've helped him or he's helped you in the past.
Or like if you've been helping factions that he's not fond of, then suddenly he might just shut his doors to you.
Yeah, it's kind of like losing your currency in that case.
Yeah. Speaking of factions, I saw a nice question from Yo Win about that. Will more charismatic characters that you find be able to recruit characters from different factions? Like, say,
Oh lordy.
like say you send a party out to see the sheriff's people, and you send a charismatic character in to do like business and stuff like that. Will they be able to? Will some be able to just go along with you guys, or is that something you don't
I think
thought
that's
of?
more. That's probably more the domain for Zed Survival, where you actually need to have
Yeah.
leaders that know how to deal with human beings.
Right. We haven't
think
really
that's
considered the
for that.
charisma stat at all at this point.
Yeah, exactly. That's more been like, for me, that's more like personality traits. Like this person is someone who's good at dealing with people. Like it's more like a yes or no thing that somebody in Zed Survival may have. At least
Right.
that's how I've been seeing it so far.
Yeah. Okay. Necro0xxx asks, will hot dogs and the hot dog guy be back in this game? Because he's our fan favorite. Dear old hot dog man.
I honestly see why not. It's just going to be a matter of like squeezing him in at the last minute, like I do it every time he's in anything.
Yeah. He's the only character who seems to just be like in everything and just have and not be murdered, because he's just like a cleaner or whatever he is, but he's never indirectly murdered. He always hides or just has to deal with the shit that he's like everybody's dealing with.
Right. So it's like
Yeah.
I never like plan on putting him in anywhere. It's just like I get to a part of like a cartoon or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to, just shove him in there and then be done
Put a
with
hot dog in there. Put a hot dog. Delicious.
Hot dog. Put some mustard. I know you love it.
All right. So, if you're beaten up or tired or running out of energy, would your vision be sort of blurry and stuff like that? What is there going to be like any visual effects, that sort of thing?
Maybe because
I'm not
it's-
100% sure on that one because we're already kind of messing around with the camera so much as it is.
Yeah,
Like for,
it's
for
not an
like-
FPS game, so it's hard. Like if you get flashbanged and your character's vision is ruined, then why is the camera suddenly like also flashbanged? But if you were behind cover, you're not flashbanged, or So it's going to take some consideration. I've thought about it. Like at the very least, I could just do some very basic camera effects to indicate that your character is blinded or something, and that would be fine. Like the ringing sound in the ears or something. But
Like stars over his head or something.
yeah, exactly. Like it might be more on the character himself and less on your camera view itself, because we're making it more like cinematic.
Yeah. All right. I think I saw a good question. So, S_O00 says if Tricky's going to be an unstoppable force of nature, like you said in the podcast and such like that, what are we going to expect from him? Do we have any concrete ideas? Is he going to be like some sort of demon that you have to run away from? Any sort of concrete sort of thoughts?
He's going to be a wild
thing,
card
right?
for that. Well, he's kind of a wild card right now because we already kind of like been thinking about, less thinking and more actually like conceptualizing the because Hank's going to have like a protagonist throughout the whole thing, like someone against tormenting him more or less the whole time, and it's not going to be Tricky. And it'll be like an entirely different interaction that you'll be getting from him rather than Tricky, who just shows up once in a while and messes things up because he's bored or he's Tricky, whatever.
Right. Yeah. His deal is more just to kind of go around and have fun. Like he himself is entertaining himself. The reason he keeps bringing Hank back to life, it's and then keeps like in the one episode where he throws in the weapon so that he has a fair fighting chance to to battle. The guy just wants to enjoy himself in his weird, psychotic, perverse kind of way. So yeah, I guess one thing we talked about was potentially like you're walking along and suddenly you see Tricky, he doesn't see you. Do you want to stop him from going off and killing all these mercenary guys, knowing that you actually have a good relationship with that faction, or do you want to stop him, or do you hate those guys and you just hope that he goes off and just ruins their day, that kind of thing. If you kill him, it won't be forever, probably. He's very likely to just kind of keep coming back.
Yeah, Clown, you can't kill Clown. Clown kills you. That's generally how it goes.
Excuse me. Sneezy.
So, Kickalus asks, in zombie survival mode, will you be able to talk and speak to the other characters and like receive quests and such like that?
I think so, yeah. I've envisioned that would be the case, yeah.
I'm trying to think of like what quests would even come up in zombie survival mode other than not die.
Some random civilian may just run up and say, "Hey guys, help! All my people are stuck in the building and the zombies," and then you kill them and just take their stuff and then go help them, or do whatever you want.
Right.
Of course, there's consequences for just being a brutal murderer in a game where suddenly now people don't trust you or something.
Right.
You get a reputation. Leave a trail of body.
Hey, it's that guy. We better probably just start shooting when we see him rather than try and talk to him.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. So Golden Zimbies asks Zimbles, right? Golden Zimbles asks, will you guys be characters again in Arena or even Zed Survival like in Project Nexus 1? And if this is the case, are they going to have special abilities?
Yes, I know we're going to be in there. Same way as we did in the first one. I don't know if we're going to be at all special.
We'll probably just sneak ourselves in there. Actually, Matt, maybe we should just do that now. Like, create the versions of ourselves for the game, since we need to start practicing with body destruction, but on unique models. Because so far I've only tested it on the grunt's head. Maybe it's time to start blasting holes in our own heads. For testing, for science,
for testing.
Yeah.
All right, hell.
Testing.
Got something for the next weeks of work.
Yeah, it won't be in there for the alpha, at least not right away, but it will be.
No.
So, since is there going to be like any random nonsensical just things appearing like an hypothesis, because I can't remember if the improbability drive is still on or not in this sort of universe. So yeah.
Oh lordy.
In this one, I believe improbability is not necessarily screwed up, but it's going to be hard because there's some revelations in there story-wise that we're not 100% revealing just yet. We want to kind of save something for the release, but I believe in this version of reality, because it's a pseudo-canon, I believe that it's not on yet, or that the effects at least aren't as major as it is in the combat series world.
Mm-hmm. Like in 4, it was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
But we have actually talked about the concept of kind of screwing with reality. Just how do you represent that in the game in such a way where if suddenly a room gets split in half and flies away, I have to program that. That's a unique
it's
thing.
It's going to be kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. So that's got to be pre-staged areas that can't just happen everywhere. So that if that did happen, it would have to happen in a story type of sense, in one specific spot. That we can always do the Kane and Lynch, ruin what you see, people appear as something else kind of thing.
I love that.
Nice.
Yeah. Failing that, down the line, we do want to do a DLC for where you can actually play through the original combat series episodes, room by room, just exactly as it is in Progress. That's not for now. That's for later. That's eventual full story DLC where you get to do the prequels. And in that, that's kind of mandatory. Screwing with reality is something that happens. So that would be an example of a pre-scripted series of rooms where things would happen that kind of change, basically. So we'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, that's a good question, because I think there's a question from Rapshal, and he asks, is there going to be a zombie arena in the new one? In Project Nexus 1, or is it just going to be a normal one, or maybe a mix?
I think it's going to be when you do waves in arena mode, it's going to be more themed. Like in this particular wave, you fight these guys. In this particular wave, you fight these guys. Some of it's random.
Here comes a zombie wave. Here comes a merc wave. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
And each one brings its own
heads or something, or like you might one arena room may be a series of like like empty warehouses or abandoned buildings or something. So it has that spooky vibe, and of course you'll just fight zombies in that particular one. But you'll know when it's coming, I think, before it does.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't tell you to gear up and then tell you what you're fighting, because I always hated it when games did that. It's like you were always spec'd for something entirely different.
Right. So Snowskeeper asks, so I know you've said the Auditor isn't going to be somewhere we can really remotely think about taking on in Project Nexus 2, but is he going to have any sort of role in the game?
Maybe yes.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
Maybe he's not even a real thing.
He will. We're considering having him exist, but maybe not in the way that people think. But we're still playing with his exact involvement. We know his role in the canon, in the story. We know why he would be here and why you would face him, and not in an arbitrary, we just kind of made it up to squeeze him in kind of way. Like, we actually legitimately see how he would fit in this. But how you'll encounter him, and whether or not it's going to be like the Fifth Element, where the good guy and the bad guy never actually cross paths even once. That remains to be seen. We're not going to say too much, and we're still trying to decide exactly what angle we want to play this. But yeah, I mean, Auditor will be an entity. He will be involved in some way.
Yes, excellent. I do like the Auditor, even if he is like completely mysterious and no idea what the hell he's doing or why. Probably will never get an answer because it's madness.
This game is going to do what Madness always does, which is it's going to answer one major question and raise two more to take its place.
No, the Auditor reminds me of the investors from Adventure Brothers.
Oh yes,
the entities that you don't understand.
Yeah, the devil guys, right? That just kind of pop out and they'll get you anything you want for your soul. I did like those guys.
Here's a good question that I quite enjoy. So
is it Matrix? Is it?
I think I'll enjoy this question
because I believe it.
Yeah, believe me, Dad. I'm so right about this. God. Okay. The Matrix Jesus asks, with dynamic wound system brought upon like a custom shader, is dismemberment going to be possible?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I don't know how that's going to work with because I always see because for me the only thing you can dismember is head, torso, and that's about it. Because it's like a Rayman system.
That will be the chief dismemberment that occurs. Like you can blow or slash people apart, and there'll be two distinct body parts there, but hands and feet, of course, they'll go flying off too, in violent enough explosions.
It'd be quite fun. It'd be quite fun to have a character with a hook hand or something.
I think the only tough one for me to code, the most complicated scenario for me is, from a coding perspective, is just having a guy that you blast a hole in him, or you chop right through his body. Is now you have a torso and the hips and legs separate, and these are two different things doing their own little ragdoll. That's the only complicated part, because the way that I interpret doing it, I basically kind of doubled the models that are on the screen. It's hard to describe. I don't want to get too complicated, but it's going to take a lot of optimization to make that really work and continue to flow. So. Not that everybody's going to get chopped in half every single time, but it'll happen often enough that I want to make sure I do it right and it doesn't bog down the game. So that's the only complicated one. But besides that, blowing a hole in someone's head and seeing the bone and brain on the inside, easy. We already know how to do it. We're good and set on that.
All right. So this is a question from Blake House. If you kill Tricky in survival mode, will he get a grudge against you or be out to get you in particular? Will he remember your stupid face and then say, and then go and get you?
Probably not, right? Tricky, every time you see him in the cartoon, he just he doesn't care.
It's almost like the first time you see him every time.
Yeah.
He's one moment you could be like, nah, it's cool, man, don't worry about it, and the other he could be ripping your face off with a street sign.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It just depends on how much. Just depends on how hardcore he's hitting the meds.
In the movie Twister, the tornadoes got pissed off at Bill Paxton every time, Tricky's about the same.
Yeah. Ooh, here's a nice question. Creek the Meat Man asks, are zombie body parts going to move on their own? If, for instance, if you dismember a torso, is that torso still going to crawl about and try and eat your fucking ankles or something like that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that'll happen. Not every single time, but it'll happen.
Nice. I do
Because
like that.
it's those little touches, like after you throw a grenade at a pile of dudes and parts go all over the place, and while you have this nice spread of body part and blood and sinew all over the place, there's one or two guys crawling out of it trying to, complete their zombie mission.
Right, to eat. The only complication is the way the aiming system works, and nothing is final. That's what the alpha's for, is to help us test it. But currently, because of the way aiming works, you typically move your cursor towards the feet of somebody that you're targeting, and what happens is that your character aims at about high chest level for him, what's relative for him, for wherever he's aiming. If you then lock onto somebody, then you aim directly at them. The problem is that if a zombie or somebody is on the floor, and we're going to have maybe some levels of ground fighting, not really much, but something, at least a John Woo thing where you could be shooting from the ground the same way that a zombie could be crawling across it. The problem is if you're aiming at chest level, you're shooting over the heads of zombies unless you aim towards them and it locks on because it knows that they're living. So then now your aim is down at the floor towards them, which is fine, but that kind of gives away the spooky factor of, I don't know which one's going to jump out and get me. So do we turn off auto lock on when somebody looks like they're dead but maybe they're not? But then how do we give them the chance to decide, okay, I want to execute this guy. If it only turns on.
That's all stuff that we get to toy around with once the alpha's out there and people start ripping the game apart.
Exactly.
You guys are only focusing on the arena mode you're getting out for alpha, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's more like kind of. It's going to be the arena, but it's an arena light that mostly the whole point is just to focus on combat. It's less the final way that arena will appear, and more just based on getting people in a room with guns and swords and hand to hand and just ruining people and dying and trying to figure out what's most fun about the game, so we can focus on those things, fix the things that are broken, and you get the idea.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Arena light, because it's still got a lot of fleshing out to do.
Yeah, arena's going to be a far more complicated mode than what we're releasing with this alpha.
Yeah. Alright, here's a good question. Zekro0XX. Can you make in arena mode a zombie character or an AAWH kind of guy? Like an engineer or something like that?
I think so. I mean, to a degree, yeah. It's just based on how you want to spec and build your character.
Because
an appearance or in skill set?
Maybe in both, because it could be fun to just create a character who, once he's dismembered, can still crawl about and try and attack people, even when he's just completely fucked.
Well, the problem is once you're reduced to that state of once a zombie's reduced to that crawling state, the only thing he has left to do is die or take a few final death blows.
Yeah. Right, basically we're talking about a suicide character, somebody his only job now is to just take a bunch of people with him as he goes. So, I mean, maybe the crawl around's half dead kind of thing, but probably not. They're more likely to have a mag type character from one of the legendary skill trees where you can have chunks of you blown off and still you're upright and fighting as though you just don't even care. I think you're more likely to see that, because from a game standpoint, I don't think it'd be very fun they blast you, now the only thing you can do is crawl around the stage.
And what if you succeed and now you have to get all the way to the exit and you're moving at nothing miles an hour?
Yeah.
Wow, this game sucks now.
Yeah. What else is there? Here's a fun question from Snowskeeper. I keep calling them fun questions. Okay, here's a shit question from Snowskeeper.
That's mean.
I don't really mean it. Snowskeeper, you're beautiful and your face is lovely, and I want to eat your babies. Wait, speaking of eating people, is cannibalism going to be a thing?
Maybe. I think it could possibly be for Zed Survival anyway, yeah.
Yeah, the survival mode, when you need to keep fed and, all you have around you are teammates and no food.
Right. And this is not Minecraft. Don't eat the zombie meat. Don't do it.
Well, you could do it.
But don't.
You just get kind of bubbly is all.
Yeah, my advice is just don't.
So, Yo-Yo Win asks, will there be a significant amount of new characters, or is it going to be mainly comprised of old ones from the Madness Combat series?
Well, I know we've got a few new ones that we've written up and
there is going
discussed.
to be 0 original content in this game.
Damn it, Sway, and I'm trying to lie to them.
They see through us. We're transparent.
TF2. That's all it is.
Yeah. But yeah, take it away, Matt.
I more or less took it away and then put it back.
Good. Yeah. Okay. It's been put back. Yes, there will be original characters. A lot of them have been shown on the Kickstarter, but
right, like the Merc
mostly
faction
boss type characters. Yeah, the factions, the faction units, that kind of thing. As far as named characters, yeah, I mean, we got Mr. M. We got a slew of characters that are new. It's all on the Kickstarter.
And we got like I don't know, like the super bad guy that we're super excited about that don't want to like talk about it all. So I'm just going to keep talking about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, we have a new bad guy in the same vein as the Savior or Tricky or the Auditor. We got a new bad guy.
Nice.
So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, see, there's always like the super powerful characters in Madness are always the ones that are the most like super amazing and fun.
Yes.
Because like the only thing you can get in Madness really is not really through dialogue, because that's not a thing that usually happens at all, but through how big and scary they are.
Yeah.
And usually the bigger and scarier they are, the more fun it gets.
Yeah.
Because like there's nothing better than Tricky really, because he's just so goddamn powerful.
He's lovable. Yeah.
He's adorable.
He's got lots of
He's just so
personality.
cuddly.
Yeah. He jumps out of cakes and
A new
destroys
follower.
people's birthday
Yummy.
parties.
I
And
guess
takes a piece
I
of the
forgot
cake.
about that. Was one.
the question with Tricky, I wonder how we're going to approach him in the game. Like, we already want going through a building that with the eerie sound effects that Devin's been doing a lot of good Foley work and doing like ambient stuff with us, and will continue to. It's going to be really curious to see how creepy we can make it when you're crawling around this abandoned building and have zombies come after you, knowing that you're a trained killer, but knowing that anybody can just jump out and grab you at any time. Maybe more in like Zed survival than story mode.
Yeah.
But even so, in story mode, like how creepy are we going to make Tricky? Like, if a zombie is scary, is he going to be just absolutely frightening, or is he the comic relief, or is he both somehow at the same time? Like,
I think the horrific part of Tricky is how batshit crazy he can go for one moment and just like not in the other. Because the thing that makes Tricky himself is how completely unpredictable he is.
It's
Right, because that'd be
our
kind of like
joke.
something. That'd be kind of like important though, because like every time you kind of know there's going to be like a tricky moment, you can't tell what you're going to expect. Like, is he just
Yeah.
going to show up and beat you up a little bit, or is he going to like chase your ass around?
Or is he just gonna come in and party?
I kind of like the idea of doing something like what was it, Descent, or like one of those games where like you're going through this abandoned building, you have no reason to think Tricky's there, but for some reason you enter one room and you come back and something has changed, because you know how tied up he is with reality being ruined, and normality being completely compromised. I'd be interested to see something where you walk into a room and now something is different than it was before.
All the
Things are
posters have
glitching
tricky
and
faces on
changing
them.
yeah, exactly. Or like everything is inverted in one room or something, and that's like a sign that you better do something different because Tricky's on his way.
Suddenly
yeah,
a train
like you walk
passes
into a
through the
room-
room.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
walk into a room that you were just in, and all the corpses on the ground have been turned into mannequins with like clown paint on their faces.
Oh yeah,
Just
total-
eerie
total
shit like that.
Joker
very-
syndrome.
It's very jokery. I love it.
All right,
could see
let's find us a question. Let's go on a quest. Will you be able to? So Afro Ninja. I can't tell if that's the actual Afro Ninja.
Hello, Afro Ninja. Yeah. it
Hello,
is.
Afro Ninja. Your games are great. And you are great. Yeah. I like your games. Have my babies, etc.
I'm gonna make. Hey,
General-
Sean, confirm for me it's you on Instant Messenger so we can give you special treatment.
What a great story, Mark. Okay. Afro Ninja asks, will you have a home base or a stockpile in said survival mode?
Only what you
I
can make.
think.
But
yeah,
it's
I
not
mean,
going to be like designated.
Yeah.
It's more or less like a building that you choose that has like containers that you can just dump things into, and then like if it gets overrun, like you better just grab up as much as you can and get out of there. But it's not like it's not designated.
You will build like a stockpile. Like, I mean, you'll build some like thing that indicates where you're. Oh yeah, Sean's saying "lol hi" on Instant Messenger. Hi Sean, just checking. Sorry, I typed that. I actually typed that. That's the real Afro Ninja, guys. So stockpiles. We need something, at least when you claim a room as yours. Whether it's just some building you randomly picked and say, okay, guys, I think this is safe. We do need something to indicate that this is where your stuff is. You know.
Well, you want to like
as
plant a
we're going off
flag or
raiding
something?
missions- yeah, right, exactly. Like a little flag that you like post, and then bam, that's your base.
Yeah.
So you want to guard your supplies. You've got. I don't know if we're going to go the Project Zomboid route of like refrigerate your goods or anything, because this is so far into the apocalypse that
That's
That
ridiculous.
doesn't even it doesn't matter. But as far as home base, you basically designate your base. You claim it in some way, and then you have the ability to defend it by putting up stockades or barricades,
Barring up the
sandbags, tires on fire, fire tires. That kind
Bar
of thing.
tires. Delicious.
Or just completely destroying the lower floors and then using the fire escapes from the top floors to get in and out and hoping the zombies don't figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the idea of you walk into this new town, which has got not really, it's randomized. It's like pseudo instance. There's new buildings like this over here's the police station. Here's this area here, and you're in this new town that's been procedurally created for you and for your group. So it's a different game every time you play. And you're like, okay, well, this police station is great. I had a lot of success in the last game. You go in there, but you see that the wall's been blown out, or the power's off, obviously.
Or the whole place is just looted.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's completely barren, but this place has a generator, so you can actually turn fuel into power if you need it, which means those cells can actually lock electrically and remotely. So these are all things that we want to kind of play into it, I think.
Then you can arrest the zombies for loitering.
Yeah, exactly.
Dumb zombies taking up my space and ruining everything. They're the scum of the earth. Nothing better than racism towards zombies.
Yeah, zombies.
Zombism.
Zombieism.
Zombism kind of sounds like something a Scotsman would call a zombie with breasts. Yeah, zombism.
Yeah, zombisms.
Zombism.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and by the way, we have we're already past the 1 hour point. I think we're gonna take this until until 3 p.m. if the questions keep coming.
So how long do you think that'll be for Sean? If he's still alive and not terrible. And
What?
I also have to mention, Sean, you've been killed by the same orc 3 times now.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, do you
supposed to
need
be
some
killing
help?
it either.
Yeah. I assumed. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure
Okay.
out what I'm not supposed to be killing it. So.
Hmm. Okay, so Citiesmon asks, in Project Nexus 2, will melee combat be somewhat more in depth than the first game?
Yes.
similar to the hand-to-hand. Is melee going to have its own
see
sexy
the previous
benefits?
question answered about the hand-to-hand. Melee is going to be about the same thing, but one of the upshots to melee is not just that you can do more weapon attacks and now you can dual wield 2 swords or something, but that also, unlike hand-to-hand, which you're kind of limited, in melee, if you're if someone comes at you with a sword and you have a pistol and they start swinging at you, you're not blocking those hits. You're going to be taking the brunt of those hits. But so they're coming at you with melee, and that's kind of defeating the fact that you're at ranged, but you're not at a range, so you're basically disadvantaged. However, if you have a parrying sword or a short sword in your left hand and a pistol in your right, you can defend against those shots, while at the same time plugging them with your pistol or whatever weapon you happen to have in your offhand. So you could be a guy that does balance between some ranged, have a rifle or an SMG in one hand, pepper the screen, and when somebody happens to break through the line and get close to you, you can still kind of hold them off with your sword. At least you have a fighting chance.
Right.
Yes.
It's like jack of all trading rather than specializing.
Yeah, exactly, because you're basically wielding the offhand weapon, the sword you're wielding in your left hand, so you're not really doing a lot of damage when you swing, and combos are going to be almost unheard of in this mode, but not impossible.
You
just have to train
2
it
or
up.
3 hit combos just sort of wailing on a guy. It's not nearly as elegant as it would be if you were just holding just the sword.
Yeah, that's some upper level stuff, basically. Being able to do a combo with your offhand while still wielding a pistol in the other. That's some upper level combo stuff. And who knows, maybe you'll get into a combo that's slash execute with your pistol or something like that. So there will be unique things that situation will provide. So, but you only get that because you are such a master of melee that you manage to specialize your guy, or not specialize, but build your guy in that way. Right. So, I mean, that's a route you can take in melee. Is offhand training. How good are you with your main hand, and how good are you with your offhand?
Ooh, here's a question that's been asked twice about cosmetics in the arena mode, because even I'm not very sure if the situation's changed or not. Because it's so basically, Ivnar 134 and 4 is asking, can we set the default appearance of our character and then just add the armor on top of that? Create a character and then just keep that for the entire game with the armor.
Yeah, at the very least, yeah, you'll be able to at the very beginning at least change your I think your shirt color and maybe some details on the head. Basically you'll throw 3D stuff on top of your character,
All that stuff like affects your armor and your carrying capacity, though.
Yeah. So like try to visualize this. This is kind of the way that I pictured it. Visualize for a second that you just have a grunt. You know, basic dude. He's wearing the gray like shirt gown that every Madness character wears, and then suddenly he faces a zombie. Now the zombie, the Zed is basically he's wearing the same outfit, but like in game terms, he's actually wearing one that's like ripped. You know, you can see his green skin through it. Maybe like some of his neck is green, or you know, like basically he's wearing a different underneath outfit than the grunt is. So now let's say that either one of those guys throws on armor. You want to be able to see the shirt underneath. The zombie shirt, in texture terms, is basically the same shirt but with rips in it. So I don't see why we wouldn't let you pick the kind of shirt that your guy wears, and then that would appear underneath any kind of armor and stuff that you would wear on top of that. I don't see why we would restrict that. And then, facial details like scars and maybe tattoos. And I mean, we're going to play with basically like customized skins a little bit to at least let player characters be a little bit more unique. And you want to throw a helmet on top of that? Sure, you'll see your tattoos underneath.
Right.
Yeah. So you'll be able to do stuff like that. Oh yeah, and also like new shoes for the first time ever in Madness.
Oh man. Whoa! Shoes!
Oh my
Swain,
god.
that was a
high heel,
secret.
or I will fucking slap
Oh
you.
my
Oh
god.
yeah, shiz.
Shoes.
Shit.
Wow. Next, you're
No,
going to
you-
tell us we're going to be getting sleeves.
It'll
Oh.
just be
Go
the
to
standard
hell.
boots or moon boots. Like, seriously, that's it. So you can make the Napoleon Dynamite Madness character.
Yeah.
God, I can't believe how
Hair-
fucking
hair and
stupid
everything.
everything is.
Hell, and the dance moves. If you've seen Matt's updates on
God.
Tumblr and the gifts therein, but yeah, he's
I hope we
working
don't
on some-
lose that. I hope we don't lose those dance animations. They're wonderful.
We'll find a way to keep them. I swear it.
Actually, I have a question that I've actually been thinking about. So, would you mind if I ask, or is this like a?
Go
Fire
right ahead.
away.
You know, you could
Yeah.
have
Putting your name on the
could have
list.
made up a
though.
name and just said it. Gentleman Walrus asks.
I just don't want to get like one of the codes because it's not that I don't want the game. It's just these guys are the ones who are asking. I'm just asking their freaking questions. It'd be a bit weird if I was.
That and I'm pretty sure we're getting you guys codes anyway because you. I mean, come on, you guys are running the show with
like
us, so-
bastards. Yeah.
Well, Sean's already got a code, so that excludes him. But thanks. Anyway, I like games. I like the games. These are good. Thanks, guys.
And and for those who don't know, since we're plugging Chibi Night today, also we're giving away free codes to the best questions, and also to random people who asked questions. Any of the ones that actually went through today, we'll be doing a little lottery at the end. Not while we're live, but after the fact, we're gonna pick out some random people to get some codes for Super Chibi Night, and also pick some of our best favorite questions from today's session, and see who gets a code.
Yes.
We'll see what happens.
Nice. So let's see if I can find some questions. Will different types of will? So this is from Ultra Snake. What are you? Was that? That's Sean's just making a point there. We do love questions. Yeah.
A new
Making
follower.
it lovely
Yummy.
and poignant. Okay,
So,
so
God, I love it.
gotta love it. Ultra.
God, I love it. It's perfect.
We had a question?
Makes any man want to cry. Just
I'm doing it. I'm crying.
I'm sorry.
We got a
Is
question.
that is the subtitle of the game, isn't it? When we
Yeah.
release this on Steam, Madness Project Nexus 2. We love questions.
Yes, it is.
That's awesome.
the
That's going
tag.
on Steam.
All right. So from
Inquiry.
Ultra Snaky, concerning melee weapons, will different types have different advantages? So there wasn't really much point to use a knife or an axe over the lead sword for something,
A new
But-
follower.
like
Yummy.
because the only real advantages were damage and range. So
Yeah.
are we gonna have like different sort of factors as well, like blocking
Yes.
ability and stuff like that?
Different
like,
different weapons.
some of them will,
require
like,
different
defeat-
skills.
Well, that some will like be more apt at defeating armor. Others will be like something that'll be just like great for knocking people down and getting them away from you, like the more bludgeony kind of things. We don't want to just have like a straight damage counter for the weaponry, and that's something we've been like exploring with the health system too. So
Yeah, we're dealing with something. The current name that we're running with is called Corpus. It just means body in Latin. The Corpus system for health. We're trying to get rid of hit points in this game. We're not going to really announce too much on it because we're still playing with the idea. But the idea is it's basically a healthless. Well, I mean it's health, but it's a hit pointless system where it's not just like My guy's tough because he has 73 hit points. Well, my guy's tougher because he's got 75 hit points.
Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, exactly. So, so damage is going to be different because health is going to be different. To say that this sword does 50 damage and this sword does 45, that doesn't really translate anymore because we're not doing a numerical health system either. So we're revamping the way that some of that's going to work to try to make it unique in this game. And also, it'll be easier to glance to just see if a weapon is better based on its general stats. But fact is, a knife is going to be faster with not as great of range. A katana is going to be better range, maybe not as fast though. And it's going to be a little bit less accessible as a weapon to be able to find if yours breaks, to replace it.
Yeah, that's something really wonderful about the Unity thing too, because in Flash, when I made attack animations, like, it was pretty much set in stone how long the animation would take. But in Unity, like, we can have like faster or slower ones like on the fly, so we can really explore like faster melee weapons or really sluggish ones. Right, yeah. If your character's like not strong enough to wield this weapon properly, but he's not so weak that he goes to the default crap animation because it's too heavy, that he just looks like a little baby swinging around a baseball bat. So we can like slightly slow down your animation for the weapon because you're not that qualified to use it. Unity's pretty tough in that regard, so we can just kind of flip that around as we need to. So there will be variations. I'm just glad we're not in Flash anymore. Yeah, but also like different combos that you can do and the way that weapons, like the way that weapons are swung, will also make a difference. Like if let's say you get like a fencing foil or a rapier or something like that, like a fencing weapon. You pick that up, you're not going to have a lot of weapons that involve like slashing in front of you and sweeping and like hitting 3 or 4 guys at the same time. That is simply not the way that weapon works. But if you're fighting a guy that has like heavy armor, that weapon is going to be fantastic because that is specifically made to be able to get through the cracks of chainmail. In the historic sense, that's what that weapon is for. It's to be able to. It's a lightweight weapon that applies a lot of pressure to one tiny little point, and you kill somebody very quickly that way. It's light, so you don't tire yourself out. And these are all things that will come into play. Swinging a big weapon around is going to kind of diminish your capacity to carry on the combat that well. So every weapon will have its purpose, and not being trained in that purpose means you swing that weapon around like an asshole and don't know what you're doing. You don't take advantage of its advantage.
Derpy swings.
Yeah, exactly. Like a samurai's not going to suddenly be able to pick up a freaking fencing foil and know what the hell this thing is for. It's going to look like a little baby's toy. It's going to look like a police baton or something, or like an asp, right? It looks like a little switch that you use to whip somebody with. But suddenly you actually spend some time training in this thing, and a fencing foil becomes a fantastic offhanded defensive weapon, or that kind of thing. So anyway, weapons will be different than just you swing it and do this much damage. So the answer is yes.
Nice.
Correct.
Excellent. That's a good thing. Because the one I hated, like all the cool looking weapons, like the axe, were just kind of pushed to the side and just kind of left. To the dust because
here comes the elite sword. Just use that.
Yeah.
With things like Zed Survival, where you need to break through a door, like you want an axe. It's great that you have that katana, but you want that axe for that specific purpose. Having a fire axe in your hand and being able to blast through that door and also be able to chop a zombie that comes at you, I'd say that makes it worthwhile just on its own.
All right, so MCP, MCP phase on, I think it was? Let me see. MCP phase on? MCF phase on. I'm wrong. So he/she/it/its person asked, will the teammates system be improved? And because one of the things he asked...
No, it's going to be worse.
But one of the cool things that he asked, I think was actually a really good point to make, is are they going to level with you? Like, because in Project Nexus 1, they were very, 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 very slow to like get to your level. So I think it would be a cool idea to just see them grow as you grow, and sort of turn them into sort of badass force.
In Nexus 1, the way that NPCs that are arena squad mates leveled up was the same way that you leveled up. They actually had the same code attached to them that you did, which is that every time you kill somebody, you get a certain amount of experience. It gets tacked onto your character, and at the end of the arena, that stored XP gets transferred to real XP, and then that's how you level up. So in arena mode, if you want to level up your guys, you have to babysit them. You take them into a room and just let them casually kill people until it's all done, and then you advance, and you'll actually see them level up a lot quicker. They don't really level with you, which I'm sure you noticed because of how slowly that happens. So the reason they're not leveling is because you're taking all the kills, and that's basically what's happening there. So I'd like to avoid that this time.
I actually did not know that. That would have actually been that's kind of a cool feature that I didn't know about in the original game.
I think that one thing, of course, is that they then randomly pick what thing they upgrade, so they're just all over the place with their stats. And so because of that, like if you want to deck them out with heavy armor, that's probably not going to happen unless you get a guy that already has that, and but that's hard to find because they can be wearing heavy armor and not be qualified to do it because we're just like, screw it, whatever. We want to make people look unique, so we just assign them stuff. But in this game, I think we want to rework how that happens, make it a little bit more fair, give you opportunities to let your characters like level with you. I think that would be probably the best way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. Might be an idea to like separately give them a separate screen to level up, to choose their level ups and stuff like that.
Yeah. But probably allow at least some direction as far as the way that they level, or know that that's what this person's specialty is. Like this guy is a rifleman, so he's always going to pick rifle skills before other things. And although there's some randomization and he gets to pick it, and this is just speculation, this isn't set in stone, that maybe because he's on the rifle track, that he's going to continue to build that up, or potentially that you would assign professions to that character. Professions are kind of like skill trees, but it's like a bulk of skills that is unique to the kind of profession that you're picking. We're still working on how this works. We're still working on exactly what that means. But for the time being, a profession could be like a berserker. And so we pick all the little skills that would make a berserker character, like faster speed. You're faster when you're more hurt, like the Hulk or something. You get tougher as you go. You're more focused on melee, that kind of thing. Better dodging, that kind of stuff. And then you would build up those skills to basically create a complete berserker profession. And you only have so much capacity for so many different professions, and so you want to try to build the perfect character, respec as you go, whatever. But assigning professions to NPCs, to arena characters, I don't know, maybe that solves it. But we'll see.
We'll see.
There'll be more control.
All right, so I think actually I'm going to ask a question that I have a simple one on my mind. Are there going to be any way to add lips to characters or eyes and stuff like that? Because
hell?
I know it's a weird question to ask, but you know how like
Sanford, I think.
Sanford is the only character with actual lips.
Or like in the shorts that you made a few years ago, like Guy and shit.
Oh yeah, like all those in the leisurely ragtime, right?
Yeah.
So
is there going to be any way to sort of add those sort of stuff to your characters, or is that just going to be like a random thing that might happen?
Maybe not. I haven't really put any thought into that at all.
That's right.
At the very least, maybe like face details. I think the question is it going to be just a decal, or is it going to be an actual facial change? Like the Jesus character has a mouth. He has like eye sockets, if not eyes.
Right.
We don't know. We're going to just make those decals on the face. More likely, we'll probably make those a deformation, like an actual mesh that fits with his character.
A changed head, yes.
Yeah. Having mouths that move, then that's going to be even more difficult unless it is just a texture. Right now, that's not a big priority, but it's something we do have to address at some point. So we're still trying to figure that out.
We got the zombie jaw to move, which is fun.
Oh yeah, we do have actually a jawbone as a part of the.
You can see it on the GIF right there, kind of working.
Yeah, if you look at the dancing guy, there's like a piece that's sticking through the head, kind of there, or actually in the chopping animation, you can see it.
That, and you can see it on the zombie too. His jaw like works a little bit.
Yeah,
kind of chewing idly at nothing.
Yeah, there he is. His actual mouth is moving around, so he's got this little mobile piece to him.
And I'm excited to see them teeth come flat out of his head once we get there.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can do the Jesus character with an actual like jaw that moves, but maybe it just looks like he's chewing on something and it looks stupid. With the zombie, it's perfect. The zombie, he does look like he's chewing. He's just this mealy-mouthed monster.
I'd just give him a toothpick and let him play with it. There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, that'll just like bounce around in his mouth.
Give him a cigar.
Yeah, you could swap it out with a cigarette, a cigar, a piece of straw if you're a redneck or something.
Maybe the berserkers are just all the berserkers just have pieces of like straw in their mouth and they're just screaming hick like insults. They're all from Texas. Yeah. All right. So here's a question from Drake the Gunman. Will you be able to find artifacts of power like the Halo in game?
Maybe as part of the story. You'll get like storied items for sure. Special weapons that you won't find elsewhere, like the quad shotgun. But as far as like magic stuff, maybe. But it's not really like I've never envisioned a scenario where Hank is running around and then suddenly he like picks up the Halo and now he has it. Maybe I don't know, but it's not really something we've thought about. As far as, I mean, you'll get to play some of the savior character. Like he'll appear a couple of times, and we're actually giving you control of the character at some point too. So, you know, after all that
city's
Kristoff
huge.
stuff from 1.5, yeah, the city's huge, and there's plenty of time to squeeze stuff in. So we'll see. We'll see.
So this is a good question from like people who did the Sean. I just noticed him
All right.
prancing about with the dancing guy. All right, so Jackson the Ripper asks, on the Kickstarter campaign, if you donated at a certain time, you'd get like a special item. How are you going to get said item, and how would you retrieve it, and all that sort of thing?
That one's for Swain.
And wait, what was it about finishing a stage in a certain time?
No,
there was
special
just-
items from the Kickstarter.
Oh yeah. I see. All right, so we're talking about like the Newgrounds masks and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yes.
Valentine's Day.
When we give out keys to the game, when the game is finished, and at least that we can start giving out proper Steam keys to the people who back the game on Kickstarter, I can just simply go through, and it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm prepared. Anybody who backed the game before a certain time, I can sort by ordered like donation time. I'm just going to go through and assign a special key to each of these people that like unlocks it for them.
Nice.
Or at the very least find out what their Steam names are and just unlock it manually.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of work because we got thousands of backers, don't we? Like 1,000 something.
It's
So,
up there.
Yeah, so it's going to be work, but I'm willing to make good. So it'll be easy. Just don't worry. When you get your copy of the game, it'll be open for you.
So, are there going to be? So Rakshal asks, will there be healing items in the game? Like one of the things I'm actually quite interested in is how the bandages work, because one of the things that made Madness so interesting was how Hank kind of progressed to this sort of bandaged mess as he continued on.
Well, I definitely want to have something like that in Project Nexus 2. We had it to some effect in the first one, and we just kind of like keep going with that idea. Like the more you get beat up and damaged, like you don't have to manually bandage yourself, but it just sort of happens. Like between fights or something.
Turn into a Band-Aid or something, or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like actually having proper bandages around you. Remember how I described having like your shirt on underneath the armor that you're wearing, and that could be customized to be different. Imagine that shirt now, instead of it's a zombie skin or something or whatever, it's a ripped shirt. Imagine then we draw bandages that wrap around the character in certain points. So maybe you'll see those bandages wrapped around your dude between stages or something, like underneath his armor. Things like that could start to appear, or like bandages on the head and that kind of thing. So it's basically details that'll be added onto your character's body, regardless of what the body looks like underneath.
Right. Let's have a look.
That's the answer.
Yeah, it's a good answer. We appreciate your answer, and we think that
Swain's answers are great.
your answer is a hot lady, and it deserves to be ogled at. Let's see. What do you mean, what the fuck? Oh, there's a tiny. There's a tiny.
Hot Dog
Just looking
Man
at
is
the hot-
replicating.
The hot. He's cloning. He's figuring out how to. He's going through mitosis. Oh God.
Actually,
It's
that's
a
the hot dog
non-divergent
guy
growth.
on the cart. The other guy is selling small hot dog guys.
Oh, so you can get your own. Okay.
Is that Crinkle selling his merchandise?
Yes, please. I'm hungry and I need food.
Give
All
us
right,
more
let's have
money.
a look. Let's look. See. We'll be able to like combine armor. This is from Ivan. This is from Ivan R1314. So like adding like a coat to a pantsuit and just stuff like that. Will it be like
How do we have it right now, Swain? Like upper body armor, lower body armor, and helmet? Or is it just body?
we did,
Right.
but we're running into clipping problems that I think most people in 3D games end up having, which is that like let's say you're wearing a coat and it's on top of a body mesh, so you have a coat mesh and a body mesh or something.
Yeah.
As you turn around and as your character goes into ragdoll, because of the way that that vectors work and weighting on armature works, that is to say, when your character's bone system moves, your body like deforms to change shape, and that's how you get that look. Because we use low poly vectors that we can have lots of guys on the screen at the same time, a lot of times you'll see the underbody clip through the outer body. So like it doesn't look like, it looks like your coat is going into your body or something like that. And so it's very tough to do. So what we're going to be doing probably is just designing full-bodied armor suits. We didn't want to do that, but I think we have to. And
Considering
so
how
that
much
way
the
you're-
bodies twist.
Yeah, basically.
Everybody do the twist.
And now that we have the body actually is comprised of 3 bones now. That is to say, the chest, the stomach, and the waist. Before it was 2, now it's 3. So there's even more contortions that can take place. So it's probably unlikely that you'll be able to do stuff like put a padded armor on top of a leather jacket or something like that. But probably more likely wear something like a cape or I don't know, that kind of thing. Like accessory stuff, like a backpack on top of the armor, probably. But a coat on top of padded, probably not, unless that was a specific piece of armor that we've produced.
Give me a second. Need to quickly do something.
Okay.
I'd just like to point out for a minute that the hot dog guy is now wearing a hot dog guy hat.
And he is serving a hot dog guy.
He is
Yeah.
It's also
enamored with
serving a hot
dogs.
dog guy.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
I've got an idea.
Sean has had enough Chibi night for now, and this is the true madness that we've descended into. So we have about, I guess, 20 more minutes for questions, I think, before we decide to cut it for today. Right?
Yeah.
Like the chat is just filled with hot dogs.
Yeah. Hot dog
Yeah.
Project Nexus. Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog.
Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog.
Hot dogs
Hot dog
everywhere.
Nexus.
I'm probably gonna actually have hot dogs today, which is kind of funny.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that's probably gonna happen to me too.
Everything
Oh,
is hot dogs. Hot
Oh
dogs love.
Jesus.
Alright, so here's the thing. Avocado Ramabot asks, will it be possible to make bridges or so between roofs and trap them and detonate them? So like if you're on a roof and stuff and you're building it and you use a sort of like a board or something to get across and you guys get across and then you just kick the board away or you just detonate it. Is that gonna be
Well, I know we're definitely doing.
We already
rooftop
have like
stuff.
we
But,
have we have rooftops. We have it written down like on our maps and everything that we do have what are they called bridges from building to building. I don't know about being able to craft your own, but it's definitely going to be a thing to be able to destroy those things to like stop progress from enemies, zombies, or whatever.
Right. Yes. Skyways, I guess we can call them, or something like that.
Right. And like, yeah, that's going to be like something really big in campaign and survival mode and alike is the ability to, destroy things in order to slow progress or to create progress. Like, say you want to get to the next sector, but you don't want to have to go through the door where there's a whole bunch of bad guys. So you can just like punch a hole through the wall. But now suddenly you got like all this zombie traffic coming back and forth, screwing everything up. But hey, you got to where you were going.
Nice. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Red Faction Guerrilla. Like,
Oh, yes.
yes. So like you remember the humongous bridge between, I think it was Dust and the starting area. Like breaking that just made things get like it was fun to destroy and it got you nice big points and stuff like that. But it actually acted as detriment as well because it means you had to take the long route.
Yep.
So maybe there's like, I'd love to see more stuff like that in ZS, like things you do has short-term benefits but long-term disadvantages, or vice versa. It'd be really cool. Actually,
Well, I guess we're gonna find out then, aren't we?
Yeah.
We can only find out. Okay, somebody just. So you remember the game Watch Dogs? They wrote it wrong. It was hot dogs.
Hot.
Aiden Pierce is a hot dog merchant, and he's also a hacker to turn the entire city into hot dogs.
So instead of like pulling out his phone, he just pulls out a hot dog and
Yeah,
makes
No,
shit happen
sorry.
with that.
he just throws
This is
hot
the
dogs.
live Q&A. He pulls out another hot dog guy.
Yes.
Frankfurt, 3 a.m.
God damn it, Swain.
You had to think about it for a second.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
half a
that
second.
was-
Yes.
That was clever. Props for that
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I'm Swain.
Yeah.
one.
Swell.
Guys,
old
it's me.
Swain.
It's Swain.
Good old Swain. Nothing beats Swain.
Swain.
Leave it to Swain.
Well, that's good, actually. This whole hot dog thing has kind of thrown people off. I think we're done with questions, aren't we? No one's asking anymore.
Someone asked me if
we
I
got
want a chili
one
dog.
from Wubby27.
Yeah,
Will
okay.
there be stealth elements?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or do we have to... Yeah.
Oh, Lordy, Swain and I haven't really talked about that in a while because we've been so enamored with just arena mode and all that, where there is no stealth. It's pretty much like alarms going off and then you're getting shot at. But
Right, yeah.
the way, like, at least we've discussed stealth so far is like stealth is just something that you have like right away when you're starting up something, like if you infiltrate a building, and it depletes and never comes back as you go, like the more noise you make. So like I don't like those stories where like you shoot a guy in the head with an arrow and he's like, who did that, runs around and comes back, it's like, oh, that must have been just a cat or something.
We're looking at you, Skyrim.
I guess it was just my imagination.
Right.
He has a fucking arrow sticking out of his face.
Right.
I'm
right
assuming
under his
that once
eye.
you maybe we'll take it level by level, but in story mode, once you entered an installation and begin to take out the occupants, regardless of how loud you are or silent you are, there is a bar or like a timer that's ticking down slowly, and the more shots you take, even silenced ones, but they're obviously reduced, chops that bar down more and more. So when you go in, you kill somebody, bar's going to go down. How you kill them is going to affect how quickly it goes down. If people see you and suddenly start firing at you, that's going to make it go down even quicker. And then until the end of that particular floor, you're out of stealth mode. So stealth is just a quick advantage to try to kill as many guys as you have, like a free kill mode up until finally now everybody knows you're there, and then they're going to start pouring through.
It would behoove you to kind of take a less Sam Fisher and more just like fast as you possibly can, get as many silenced bullets out there as possible before the alarm goes. Yeah. And then like with all these dead bodies around, suddenly their force is reduced and the overall attack won't be so bad.
Right, exactly. Yeah, this is not Splinter Cell, this is madness. They will find you. They will know you're there. Pretty much no matter what.
Right. So, like, you could carry your silenced weapon up front, but carry something even bigger behind you for when,
yeah, exactly.
the shit hits the fan.
And so, like, in arena mode, for example, like, the great thing about silenced weapons is that somebody in the same room as you, just as in real life, if you fire a silenced weapon and you shoot someone in the head, it's not going to be like a blow dart, like a sound. The guy in the room with you is going to hear it. He's going to look directly at you and know that that happened. The same will be the case in, like, arena mode. Let's say that you manage to dodge around some guys and get into like another room in arena and hide behind this cover and like move here. They may lose you for a second, but they're not going to go into like, well, I guess arena's over, turn off the alarms, I guess he left. That will literally never ever happen. However, they will go into like a sweep pattern and start searching for you. They will not stop paying attention, but that may, with better stealth skills, give you the ability to then flank them when they don't expect you to do so. So stealth is more that, I think, in arena mode. It's less like
a fast tactical advantage.
Yeah, exactly. This is not Arkham Asylum or City where now you're in the vents and they just don't know where you are. That's not going to
give up. I like that though. Arena's over.
Yes. All right, put the lights back on.
Yes. I guess we got him, right? Yeah, sure.
I guess he's dead.
I can't. Okay, somebody feel around. Just, if you find a corpse, just yell or something.
No, I'm just gonna stand at this wall and stare at it. Hope he doesn't shoot me in the back.
I know there's a guy
guys,
there.
I have a plan. If we all lay down, face first, on the floor, if he's still here, he won't be able to resist.
If we can't see him, he can't see us.
You come back and they'll just got buckets on their head.
Oh god. All right. So here's a.
Yeah. I actually, that could be kind of neat though. Not all that nonsense about laying on the ground. Yeah, that's not happening. But yeah, what if you walk out from the back room, you're in arena mode, like you're in the room, and before you like call it in, like okay, I'm ready. Like you're walking around basically the studio lights are all on, but as soon as battle like starts, it's like you hear the sounds go off of like the lights shutting down, and now it's just like the combat lights are on, and so now it's like that shit has just hit the fan or it's right about to. When arena's done, like all your experience is like tallied on, then lights go back on and you're allowed to like leave the room. Maybe something like that. We're still looking at stylistic ideas on how this game is going to be put together, but
right.
I don't know. I kind of like the visual concept of that. We'll see.
Very Smash TV.
Yeah, exactly. And we want that. This game is definitely like stands on the shoulders of Smash TV.
Right. So, I think Kier Plix has asked this question far too many times, so I have to answer it. Okay, so are the Implorers going to be sort of supernatural entities? Or are they going to be like the Auditor or related to him? Are they going to be like a force of nature that might happen, or is they just going to be like completely stuck within the arena mode?
Well,
they're not going to really appear in. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're not like. It's not like when Matt and I were talking about this previously, like what their involvement would be in one of our sit-down sessions. We agreed they're not going to be like the Koopalings from Super Mario Brothers, where you fight one in each castle or something.
Yeah.
They don't really appear as bosses. It'd be like fighting Donald Trump. This is just the power behind the scene. It's It's not like the freaking senator. What's his face from
Star Wars.
No, from Metal Gear. From Metal Gear.
Oh right.
Oh,
Jump-
Armstrong.
Did you just say Star Wars instead of Metal Gear Center?
Well, there is an emperor, who was a senator. I mean, it makes sense. But yeah, that was way off. I should have been more clear.
So no, also
Metal
Swain.
Gear is basically just Star Wars.
Swain, to be fair, I actually wouldn't mind fighting Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Well, like just fisticuffs? Knuckle to
Yeah, I
knuckle?
wouldn't mind just shoving his dumb, ugly face into a ditch or something.
Well, suits will be wearable objects in the game, and I don't see why we wouldn't have like
Donald
Jay
Trump
Leno,
masks.
Donald Trump mullets or something. Yeah.
Just like that big ugly haircut.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
So Deathben asks, will there be some sort of experiment mode? Like, you remember how in the very, very, very original
Interactive.
interactive.
Yeah.
Is there going to be like a mode where you can just try out some weapons, find some dual wheel combos, and just try out some different perks and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't see why
I
not.
think
Yeah. That
that's-
seems
I
like
think
it'd be
that
the
might be-
easiest thing to make once we have it all working.
Yeah, I think that's going to be attached to arena mode. Okay, so I guess there's a difference between having a training room, which there will be in arena mode, where you just go in and like beat up a dummy or something, or like fight with your teammates and like call them in and you practice your commands and stuff that you can do. Attack bar regenerates quickly and all that crap. I know we're going to have that, but as far as experiment mode, maybe. I mean, we're going to have a scenario mode where you can like invade this building and you get to assign what weapons you use and that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'd like there to be something like that because that makes sense. I want people to be able to go into because we're trying to work on a good comprehensive combo system, and it makes sense in any fighting game that you can go to this one mode where you just beat the crap out of a guy who never actually loses all of his health, so that you can master your combos. So I don't see why we wouldn't have something that at least lets you train that. But that'll probably be like in arena mode in like your like training room. There'll be like a little training room or something.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that would be so cool. Like you go into this training room and it's just like padded walls with blood everywhere, and every
Yeah.
time you push a button, like some guy gets shoved in through a door, and you're free to kill him. And you push
Yeah.
the button again, and just more people come in.
Yeah, it's just like a dude walks in, like he's just a grunt with a cigarette in his mouth and a blindfold, and he just sort of wanders around until you just completely ruin his day.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he just slowly and he can't even die. And he just all the while he just still has the cigarette in his mouth, and he just
Yeah.
Oh well, he could die.
I
That's
think-
why you got the button for more of them.
Oh, true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the question was also like, could you put together your own like custom arena waves? Like, could you say, I want to practice fisticuffs, so you just spawn in like 80 guys, 80 grunts using only fists, or 80 ATP soldats using only fists?
Yeah, that was having an experiment mode, like a proper like scenario mode. That would be more like, okay, I just want to fight a room full of agents today, and this is going to be my character. And then you like set up a quick scenario, and then you just see if you can beat them. Besides that, really, that just sounds to me like it's time to play arena mode. Just hit the button and wait for the guys to come in and just start killing them. Because if you die, you don't lose your guy, so who cares?
Yeah, well, you're just goofing around.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So that's probably the angle we'll go.
right. Okay. Let's see. Questions.
10 minutes. We got 10 minutes left. Let's get some.
We got
questions.
10 minutes, people. Let's do this.
Let's actually,
God.
let's nail out a bunch of.
Wow.
What?
That was really excited.
Yeah,
Is
I
that-
am excited.
Is that a
Okay.
heartfelt picture?
Sean, I think you're just.
Let me be frank with you guys.
That was a.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, Jesus.
With you. Shame.
Oh my.
That's the worst.
All right. So let's see. Okay, we got this. Oh yes, there's a question that was asked, which is quite a good one. Oh shit! I just got off the podcast by mistake. There was a question about shields. Fuck. Somebody just say, "Hey, I made a question about shields," or find the guy with shields. Somewhat like
ask your shield question
Dude,
again. While we answer
dude that
other
asked about shields, ask us again.
Baby.
baby, I want something
It
else.
was Nick I. Oliver. Will you be able to have shields, and will you be able to switch between your squad members?
Yes.
Yeah, shields. Shields within reason. Yes, there are going to be shields.
Yeah.
Having a like a buckler on your hand will if you want to be like a melee specialist or something but a buckler may not be a proper like archaic medieval weapon shield. It may actually just be like a slab of wood or something like that. Shields will play into the game, like riot shields especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they will be in there. But of course, you have your choice about whether or not you want to use them, and they won't be mandatory. And they're very obnoxious because they are very heavy, and they do get in the way of your shots.
Yeah, they definitely changed the way your character moves just by picking them up.
Yeah. In arena mode, you won't be able to play as your squad mates. It's all about playing you. But in story mode, we're more inclined to let you switch between playing Sanford or Demos or Hank, or whoever's in the team, like swapping in real time and not having to pick ahead of time which guy you want to play.
Yeah.
Right.
I got a question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I can't remember if it's been asked because I was playing Super Chibi Night. What's the plan for cameos and those kind of characters that might come into arena mode?
Oh, like, are we talking story characters, or are we talking like our little custom, like Swain and Crinkles dudes, Blockhead or whatever?
Yeah, Blockhead and those kind of characters. Is it going to be like the same system, or is it you're going to change it up?
Yeah, maybe. I think probably with those characters, since I think the squad system in Arena, at least the way I visualized it, and I hope Matt will put his thoughts in, I've visualized it as you have these guys, you hire them at a certain skill, and you kind of like train them up, and they're really like a part of your team. Like you really get used to having them. I don't know if we'll do permadeath this time with them. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Or maybe you have the option of doing like a hardcore mode or something like that.
Like right at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, at the beginning. But not to get off topic though, maybe having like, Jesus comes in and helps you, that might be more like a special card that you get to play. And like in this combat, Jesus will come in as a squad mate and help you out, or Blockhead will suddenly appear and do his special thing, and then he'll fight alongside of you for this combat alone. And then
that would certainly be more interesting than just like a palette swap for like a Crinkles or Swain character, because otherwise like there's really nothing distinct about them other than how they look. Giving them, like I like the idea what you presented there is like having some sort of thing that you like buy like as a card or just a power that you could use once or twice. To sweep Jeb through.
Like a power up that like gets dropped in the stage itself and you pick it up, or you like have it in advance, or you did really well this combat, so it does like a random shuffle of cards and like the payday item drop, and then you grab your item, and then this item in particular is you get to use this particular power, whatever it is.
On the idea of permadeath though, maybe you could like have special powers for like instant extraction. Say one of your guys gets downed like critically, like you have like a stack of maybe 3 or 4 of these like super evacuation thing, and if you like that character you could call it in and have him pulled out, or you can just let him bleed out.
It's like a Final Fantasy Phoenix Down mixed with the Dock Wagon system from Shadowrun. Yeah,
right. But like it's not like automatic, of course. Like if you don't like that character that just got shot down, you're like not going to waste your
Okay, so yeah, how about this, because we do want to have some level of like body moving in the game, at least. Like when somebody goes ragdoll, it's very easy to do like a dragging animation. What if you really want to save somebody, like they're dead on the floor, you have to physically drag them from the arena slowly from the arena back towards your base one at a time, and anybody you leave behind is just gone. Maybe, I don't know, something silly like that, top of my head.
Well, that'd be kind of cool. Make you really work to keep those characters.
Yeah, how much do you like them?
Yeah, are you willing to drag them out through covering fire, or were they kind of a scrub and you hated their guts, so just leave them?
Exactly, leave no man behind, or the hell with him, he shouldn't have died. He was weak. Like the Ukraine.
We purged you.
Yes, you have been cleansed.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God. If Dad makes an appearance, I'm going to be so upset.
Yes.
The whole game would become about Dad.
Yeah. Play the music! And then the music starts and somebody gets raped.
It never, ever stops.
Yeah. So, all right, there we go. So there's a question. Give me another one, Wallace. What else we got? Because we're running out of time.
Okay, right. Is there going to be an improved bullet time from Nick Oliver 123?
Yes.
Because it wasn't all that great in the first one.
It was. It actually gave you an advantage, but the game got so laggy because of Flash. Because of Flash problems. Once you were upgraded well enough with awareness, it was advantageous to be able to go into bullet time, because guys would fire at you half as quickly because everything is slowed down, but you were moving at full speed. So you could go in there and just chop people up in melee and just completely ruin them, double the speed. That was the only way I ever managed to get through like the upper levels of Arena, was to use bullet time. But because of the lag, it made it kind of obnoxious. So
right. So just imagine it like that, but without that flash slowdown.
Without the
all
shit.
of the good and none of the suck.
Yeah. Without the flash. Which is that's the most ironic thing. Flash is not flashy.
Yes, Flash is extremely slow. That
Yeah.
is correct.
Yeah.
You've hit the conundrum, the paradox.
So okay, fucking you guys are so good at pronouncing his name. You do it.
Avocado Ramabat.
There it is.
Avocado Rama.
Yeah.
Like a Rama, like
Obama.
Oh, it is Avocado Ramabot. I thought you were just screwing around.
Yeah. Okay. If you throw a gun with a bayonet or blades and spikes, will it cause blunt damage or sticky, like actual throwing like a sword in somebody's face sort of damage?
Guess that depends on which side hits first.
Yeah,
True.
I think I have it preset so that swords will always, like, if you throw a sword at somebody, it'll then stick in them. Like, there's no such thing as a handle first hit on a person. On a wall, yeah. Like, if the blade hits the wall, the blade will stick. If the handle hits, then it bounces off. With enemies, just to be fair, because there's no real way to judge it in a game like this, just based because it's not first person, whatever. It just makes it so it auto hits with the blade in. I don't know. Maybe we do something like with when you chuck a spear, you wouldn't spin that. So maybe when you chuck a rifle with a bayonet, it treats it as a spear. I don't know. We'll play with it. We hadn't really had plans on that.
Yeah.
Next question.
Right. So Yo-Yo Win asks, will there be more special weapons such as Sanford's hook and the hidden sword in Project Nexus? Like
I wonder if we're going to do the hook in arena modes. We may. I don't know.
The thing that was interesting about the hook is that you couldn't really get rid of it, but it was a good weapon nonetheless, and it actually added a bit of challenge to playing a Sanford, and as well as fun. So it might be quite interesting to play as a character who has like, I don't know, a weapon he can't get rid of, like
A chainsaw stuck on his hand.
that. Actually, could be very fun in zombie survival mode. Like if you have one of your characters who's just like fucking his hand is dead, you only have to use the hook and like.
So he's just got like a hook on each hand. He dual wields.
And
he dual wields his two gimp hooks.
Yeah, he's like
but they got to be throwable too, so it's just like ridiculous looking when he's out there.
Yeah. Or like a hand-to-hand guy with like wooden arms.
Yeah.
What was
It's like peg legs too.
Yeah, I want to post a link to that. What was that Will Arbuckle Edible Castle sketch? The guy that did Edible Castle and like Q-Boy, Will Arbuckle. He had a cartoon and it was old. I forget what it was. But there's this guy who's got no legs and no arms, and he's just got these like limp wooden things hanging off of him, like jammed into his body. Like it's disgusting. But I want that. I want that in this game.
Snake, more like rubbish.
Yes, that's it.
Gotta love Q-Boy.
I love Q-Boy.
I want to see another one of
Today's
those.
forecast: partly cloudy with a chance of Q-Boy. That's Andy Dentist.
I'm Ringmaster Flanagan.
Andy Dennis, aka Dr. Andy Dentist. That's not really his name. Yeah, I love Andy Dennis. Andrew. He's my little guy. Okay, so any last minute questions while we're before we close up shop on this? Because I think we're getting towards the end. It's 2 hours.
Right here.
I think there's been one question that's been constantly asked. So
Yes.
in this case, it'll be Aloco. Fuck it. Will there be development tools for making user stuff? And this goes on to Steam Workshop. Is that going to be a thing? Steam Workshop.
I have every intention of trying to make this game Steam Workshop, friendly. Every intention. So I don't know how much of that will be accessible right from the start when we put it on Steam immediately. And that's not really a long-term goal though. So if we do get it on there, not if we get it on, once we get the game on Steam, because we're good to go on that, then all we need to do really is just I don't know. I just need to start playing with more external tools. I have some rough, Visual Basic style like build your own skill tree tools set up. I have the map editor pretty much just about ready to go. So I don't know. I may release them separately and not as part of the main game, but there will be ways of modifying the game for sure. Yeah. I'm just not sure if they're external yet. I haven't played with Steam Workshop before. I'm aware of its existence. I've downloaded mods for like Skyrim and stuff, but I've never made something for it. So I don't even know. So I just need to play with it. But that's something I intend to do.
Yeah, I think it just depends on what for Steam Workshop. It depends like how the developer sets it. Like for TF2, it's a thing. It's a case in which you place an idea as opposed to an actual mod, and in Skyrim,
Yeah.
it's like you actually place a mob there. So
Yeah.
it's your call. And I think it might be like the case of you decide whether or not that's going to be the case or whatever. But I think the whole like add mod to the certain game is going to be a much more difficult process.
Yeah, as far as like customized content, yeah, that's a little easier. Like I want to make my own map, I want to make my own character model, my own texture, my own weapon, my own, whatever. That kind of stuff easier, or my own sound bites for my own custom character voices, or of course that kind of stuff would have to be local. You wouldn't, if like down the line when we work on multiplayer, that wouldn't be accessible, except for within reason. Because first, it's hard to moderate, and second, we're not going to make people download like 10 megabytes of you making jerking off sounds into the microphone for your like voice set. It's just that's not a good game, so we're not going to do that. But as far as maybe having a custom logo or like a custom face design or something, I don't know, maybe at least within reason. Or do it like Rock Band, where you get to pick from preset stuff and move it around onto the texture the way that you want it. So if you want the eyes in a weird spot or the mouth in a weird spot, I don't know, or the scars in a weird spot, maybe more like that. And then that would, but that's not really custom content. That's just using the game the way it was meant to be played. So,
Right.
I don't know.
So our final question of the day, I think it's going to be, because we're running out of time. S_070 asks, the Savior has various powers, levitating, telekinesis, throwing Nexus bolts, etc. How many of these things do you think we're going to be used and see in the game?
Definitely almost all of them. When
As
he
many as we
blocks,
can, and then some.
yeah. Like when you hold block as that character, his block will actually affect bullets that are coming at him, kind of like the Matrix. He'll hold them in place. Maybe he'll even just deflect them as people are firing. I'd love to see ranged executions with the character where he yanks guns out of people's hands and kills them with them. Definitely something he'll have that most characters won't. Is when you move the target cursor around the screen and see weapons lying around. He's one of the only characters that at a range can pick up a weapon. All he does is hold his hand forward and the thing flies into it from across the room.
Right, telekinesis.
So that's one thing that he's going to have that other people won't. Flying is not something that you'll be able to just turn on and he floats around. It's, I don't know. We'll play with what the options are as far as like dodging goes with that character. To make it maybe float like you did in the last game for a brief moment, but yeah, I don't know. We'll dick around with it, but yeah, he's gonna have all sorts of stuff. Maybe not the Nexus bolt stuff, but more like zombie resurrection. Maybe, I don't know. We'll play with that.
Nice. All right. I think that'll be the end of the world.
Yes, the end. All right, everybody, go home. Good night.
Go have kids. Go make love. Go find love somewhere else.
It's been fun. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Yeah,
everything.
thanks for all the questions, guys. That was awesome. We are, if you didn't get your questions asked, we are going to be doing more of these in the future. But obviously they take a lot out of us, and it's a weekend for everybody. So we can't do this every week. But we will be doing one probably after the alpha comes out. So we can ask, do some more Q&A with something where people are actually hands-on with the product.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
Then we'll
too.
have like real questions, like based on what we've produced,
Yeah,
as opposed
and
to
hell,
like just speculating.
we can have Sean actually playing Project Nexus in the background while we do this.
Fine.
That could be fun, or could suck. I don't know. I want to keep my mind open.
Crashing every couple minutes.
Don't get your hopes up too high.
Yeah.
My hopes are not very high.
So we're gonna
Alrighty then.
We're gonna do the winners now, or we're gonna do that separately later.
I think we'll. I think we'll probably. What do you think? Do you guys want to just pick
I think
your
I should
favorites?
just pull up a random generator right now and generate some winners for us.
Get it done.
That works.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to? We'll do. Let me see. How many keys are we gonna have then? We're down to 9 because of Sean needed one to be able to run this thing. Let me go ahead and get the list up. You know what I should do? Just paste the list of keys into the chat and just let them, whoever gets
I hate when people do that on Twitter.
go.
Swain, you
Sometimes-
bastard.
It's like the Joker in Tim Burton's Batman. Just throwing cash in the street. If you gotta go with a smile.
That's the one thing. Noogie, the guy that did Dustin Elysian Tale, he does it on Twitter all the time, and it just irks the shit out of me because it's like,
That's
I want to
cool.
get it for PC. Oh, nope, everyone else got it. Damn.
Yeah, everybody else got to have it, but not you, not today.
Not
So
today.
do you want to randomly assign 5 keys to people? I'll put it in the Skype chat, Sean, because you're running the Twitch, or somebody. I don't know. And for those of you guys who are in our Skype, don't think of stealing these keys. I'm going to give each of you guys one separately. But here we go. So I want to make sure I'm posting this in Skype. Yes.
Oops, right there in the Twitch.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, there you go. That's for Sean or Tony or whoever wants to assign those keys. But yeah,
A new
Tony, do you want to just
follower.
randomly pick some
Yummy.
names and start assigning them, and we'll announce the winners now?
All right. Got the randomizer and randomized. And should I randomize it more than once, or is one good?
Do it
Doesn't
3
matter.
times.
Do it
3 times?
Yeah, just
Random
keep,
number of times.
yeah.
Just keep doing it until.
Yeah.
Do it
Randomize.
all
until
us.
my name comes up.
Yeah. First thing we need to do, we need to come up with, we need to randomly decide how many times we're going to randomize it. So yeah, let's do that.
Define random. Return random.
Unpredictable.
All right. I'm just gonna keep randomizing it until you guys tell me to stop.
All right, stop, dude. That's too
All right.
much.
You've overly randomized it.
You're breaking
there
the
we go.
rules,
A
man.
new follower.
too
Now it's
random.
Yummy.
predictable.
You're ripping the
too
time
random.
holes. There's that. What is this? The improbability drive?
It's so random it's become predictable.
Oh
Morty,
no!
it's too random. Morty, you
All
can't
right.
do that.
And there are. Here's a list of 10 people in order.
I should post a bunch of fake keys though.
It's even worse.
What, and squeeze in some real ones too?
Okay, yeah, that's good enough for me. So 1 through 5 on there should get it. Shall we go ahead and announce the people?
Yeah.
Alright, go for
All right.
it.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay,
Walrus,
announcer
would you
and
like
question
to?
asker. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Wait, what am I doing? Shit. Okay.
You're right.
First one to get the key is Golden Zombies.
Yay!
Okay.
You're going to be getting a key. We'll send that to you in just a second.
All right.
A new
Number
follower.
2 is
Yummy.
Nick Oliver. 1, 2, 3.
Hooray for Nick Oliver! You asked a
Yay.
question. Somehow, it paid off. That was random, by the way, based on the fact that you asked a question, not that you asked 5 of them.
All right. 4. The Matrix Jesus. Wait, that's 4. Shit, not 3. Shit. Damn it, I moved it up. Okay. The Matrix Jesus.
One
Anyway,
shot.
give him a hand, people.
Yay!
Congratulations.
I fucked up your number, but that's fine.
Because getting things
Okay,
in order is for squares.
This time, this is number 3. 3 is Snowskeeper. Yay!
Hey, Snow, you won.
You won
You did it.
something.
You didn't blow it.
You didn't blow it. All right. Number 5 is Ultra Snaky.
Yay.
That one wasn't very enthusiastic.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
No.
Should we?
All right, I
Sick.
think that's it. I think we only have the 5, don't we?
Okay, 5.
We only have 5. Oh, but
Yeah, for right now, because I want to make sure that you guys each get yours, because you you ran the show, you've been helping us out, Street Team, since the beginning. You need your rewards as well. So yeah, we only have the 5 to give
Should
away
we tell
today.
the next 3 people that they?
Yeah, you want
almost
to?
won?
All right, the next 3 who didn't win anything are.
Oh, Jesus.
the fucker I can't pronounce. Ha! That's what you get for
like-
having a shit name.
Unfortunately,
Oh.
Avocado Ramabot, you were number 6 according to the random gen. You almost got it.
I
Thank you for the
didn't mean it.
questions.
Don't be sad, Avocado Ramabot. I just don't like your name.
I think it's worse to tell them that they didn't win. It's like you were so close.
Say,
but
why are we
no.
telling them this?
Well, I mean, technically,
I
everybody
mostly just
else
wanted to hear
didn't
what
win,
was trying
so
to
they
say his
already
name
know.
again.
Oh yeah, I just want to make. I don't. I just want to rub it into Avocado Ramabot because I hate his name. No, I don't hate him. I just think his name should die.
No, you're just mad that you can't pronounce his name. That's
Shut
it.
up! It's not my fault. I'm stupid. He's taking advantage of me. I don't like it, and I can't deal with this right now. I'm gonna go.
Do you need an adult?
I
He
need.
needs-
I need many adults.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hold on there, Buster Brown. Okay. Yes, that's the end of the world as we know it.
I guess
Done. I
I'm
guess.
just gonna post this here. Done. There you go. As I'll post previews of music on that link for those
Nice.
that want it.
Awesome.
Yep.
So,
Oh, there it goes. Immediately.
Oh, yeah, there it
It's
is.
just- that was
I had to know.
that was very quick.
So yeah, I'll start PMing people their keys in a minute.
Yeah.
Those,
Alrighty then.
Sean, I just want to double check.
Yeah.
When I sent you yours,
You didn't send me the same as.
yeah, I think the one I sent you was this, right? I don't know if you have any way of checking, but I
It'll
think
be
I
in
sent.
the PM. Yeah.
There it is.
Where is it? A week ago? I can check. I think it was. Yeah,
I'm pretty
that's
sure
the
that
same
was.
one.
I'm pretty sure I
That
picked the
was-
first one.
Yeah, that is the one.
Okay.
Wait, are we still live?
Yeah, we are still live.
Yeah.
Shit, we should
Yeah,
probably
we're
cut
still
off.
live.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody.
It's been
Have a-
lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up.
Thanks.
If you
All
didn't win, you're still a winner in our hearts, just not anywhere else.
Hopefully, right, even if your question didn't get a Chibi night, thank you for asking them anyway. I hope that we got to as many questions as we could. And didn't leave anybody dragging too much. It was fun. And I hope that it
A
was
new
also
follower.
informative.
Yummy.
Because education is key.
Yeah,
And
the
we
more you
all
know.
that. Yeah, I guess. That's what my
Knowing
mom
is
said.
And
half
knowing
the
is half the
battle.
battle.
Knowing is half the battle.
Violence.
Hey.
Knowing is half
knowing
Yes.
is half the battle.
All right, guys.
The other battle is violence.
So,
Thank you. Oh, that's cool. You can. He's putting up the winner.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for participating. I think we're gonna sign out now. We'll leave the. I don't know. Nah, we'll shut down the Twitch. Whatever. Whatever you need to, Sean. And we will catch you guys on the flip side.
Bye-bye.
bye everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks for participating, guys. We'll let you know when the next one of these things is live.
Yeah.